Hello everyone, I hope you're able to hear me and see me. If you can't, this is your opportunity to let me know. I think everything's coming through on my end. Yeah, hi. It's been a week, how are you all doing? Thank you all for coming. I'm not actually sure how many of you are in the chat, but as with all these things, hopefully more people will join us. If you don't know me and you're wondering who the hell is this guy, my name is Theo. I'm one of the co-creators of the Homeward Foundation, which is a found footage horror fiction podcast, which is a direct sequel to the novel Dracula, which is why today we're playing this amazing part 2 of part 1 we played last week, part 2 of this amazing Dracula dating sim, which stars a trans man as the lead, who is, in this case, Roger M. Renfield. And considering I am also a trans man, it made sense to help promote this wonderful piece of fiction and media. Do love an indie game, do love Dracula, do love dating sims. So hopefully this will all be very good. So, really cool thing, the people at Drăculești did reach out to me and let me know that there was a new update, literally, in the last half an hour or so, and basically should be able to get the Twitch up and running. So we're hoping, from last time we had a few difficulties getting the Twitch voting to work. So within the game we get given choices, and I was asking people to vote in chat, but actually there is a game mechanic within the system that allows you to vote, and I don't have to count all the votes. So we're going to just make sure that works today, and that gives people time as well to grab cups of tea or biscuits or whatever it is you do whilst watching people stream. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Yes, I'm just going to also quickly take a second to remind people in the chat that we are live. We are live. So yes, right. So let me just go into the... So it's very simple to do. If you guys also want to do this on a Twitch to help support the Kickstarter, they are, I think, 14 days left on the Kickstarter and doing incredibly well. They're about halfway through their goal with 15 days left. I think that's incredible. So team, well done. I believe George and I have put in some money to you guys because we just love the concept and everything so much. But yeah, let's make sure that the Twitch stuff works. So if I go to Twitch, set my username, authenticate, and hopefully it's going to let me this time. So every time there's a little window that comes up to authorize being attached to Twitch, and it says thanks for authenticating. But yeah, every time this is what happens, it says there's an error. So yeah, not to worry, we'll see if it works in the game, but we will see how it goes. We'll set the vote length to 40 seconds in case it does work. Shall we do a test vote? Maybe we can try a test vote. Let's try a test vote. Yes, this should all be posted on Tumblr as well. So if you found us from Tumblr, the lovely team have I walk into it misbehaving again. Yes, a little bit, I'm afraid. It might just be me. I'm just bad luck, perhaps. But we'll do a start vote to see if we can get people to vote. It should work, I'm hoping. So it is authenticated according to my... hello! So yeah, I'm going to see if we can vote. So if I'm going to vote for exclamation mark, vote 1. I can't spell vote. That's really useful. Well. Oh well. Yeah, that's a shame. Well, we tried, but yeah, it's good to test these things out. Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry, guys. It doesn't change the product for me. Yeah, let's end the vote early if it's not working, and we'll get on to the main event, because I'm going to have to remember where we were last time we played. So... oh, yes, I can do that. I can send you the login file, not a problem. Just trying to get my mouse to react to the game so I can end the vote. Cool. Right. So, let's see if it'll let me go back. Right, I have to start the stream again. Sorry guys, 1 second. Then it should come up and then we can start the game in full. Oh, thank you. I'm glad we were able to help. I need to just quickly reset the music. Oh, the music's back. Great. Fantastic. So I'm glad that this experience with Twitch is helpful. Yeah, please, if you know any streamers that you would like to play this game, please reach out to them. I'm sure they would also love the chance to play, because then it gives these guys opportunity to test, which is important, as we've seen. But yeah, we're going to continue from where we left off last time we played. So basically, Renfield walked into snack time, which was not fun. I did very much enjoy it. So Renfield walked in on Dracula and his bride's feeding on a woman that had come to be healed by her brother. And Renfield's response, like, we couldn't choose, but Renfield's response was, is she okay? She was not okay, buddy. She was not okay at all. And then we took a run and we were saved by what I can understand, because again, I've not read too much into the lore because I want it to be fresh when I play. I know Dracula very well for obvious reasons, but I believe smoke is something that has been haunting Renfield since before the game begins. So, but smoke saves Renfield from what I can only imagine is like a kind of a vampire thrall within a metal knight suit of armor, but then even more weird stuff is happening. It's great. It's so good, guys. If you weren't here last time, you can check out the previous. But we're going to get right in and play from where we left off. And I'm going to see how much I can do. I've set myself until dinner time, which for me is going to be about 2.5 to 3 hours from now. It's around how long I played last time, and see how much of the game we can get through. If we need to do a part 3, we'll do a part 3. If not, we'll see. I might do like a 20-minute break, grab some food, come back and do the rest. So we'll see how we go. So yeah, let's load the last game. So here we are. This was 6 days ago. Let's see. Ooh. So one of the comments already is I saw someone say that he's haunted by literally his past self. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So, jolting upright, someone's palm intercepts me and pushes me back into the care of my bed. It's Dracula. Not yet. You're injured. When I hear his voice, I lurch forward again. This time he shoves me back with an audible impact into a damp imprint from a sweaty, restless night. How many of those horrors were a dream? I know our behaviour was troubling. It could have all been a dream. Troubling, but necessary. No. What happened in the Great Hall, that much was real. The chase through the castle, too. I don't think I've got my breath back yet, however many hours it's been. What about the dungeon? The girl wasn't long for this world. We take the sick, the melancholy, the impoverished. Society has already chewed them up, spit them out. Our sharp teeth finished the job cleanly. If it soothes your conscience, encourages your cooperation, tell yourself we're being merciful. Dracula's hands grip the edge of the blankets. He pulls them to my chin, trapping me under the covers. Unable to shift or turn, I stare into his eyes. From now on, for your sake, you will obey. It was suicidally stupid of you to run, to say nothing of entering the dungeon alone. I'd like to think the General made it clear why. The General, God. Okay, votes, guys. So we're still going to do the similar voting system. So vote for 1 for the General, vote 2 for your sadistic killer, I'm getting out somehow, or 3, can you blame me for running? And so again, if you haven't played this game before, it's we have like a general response, so the general, and then there's like a cowardly option and a brave option. They're represented by the lion or the rabbit or the hare. So we can choose which one. Personally, I'm leaning towards can you blame me for running feels like something that I would say. I feel like Renfield deserves to be a bit braver at this point, but also he is tucking you in and forcing himself down upon you. So yeah, what do you guys think? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Let me know in the comments. And I will have a mini biscuit whilst I wait. Got vote 2. Okie dokie. Just number 2 at the moment. Okay. I was also leaning for 3, but now I feel slightly mean. I mean, this run through has been a bit of a whirlwind. I feel like we have insulted most of the brides badly, and we didn't stick around with Dracula before. So I don't think anyone particularly likes us. Maybe Kaz. I think Kaz likes us. But I think we should be mean to Dracula as a little treat. I agree. I think we have more consensus for 2 currently. Or I'll let one more person, if anyone else is in the chat and wants to help us choose. But I think we should call him a sadistic killer. That is what he is, guys. We're not denying this. I think we should. I'm going to go with 2, unless someone else stops me or encourages me to do something else. I mean, if this playthrough ends up with us getting killed, we'll just play again, guys, and actually romance someone earlier on. You know, I'm all for playing this game more than once, because there are many different outcomes. Okay, I'm not getting feedback, so I'm going to pick number 2. Ha! So Dracula's laughing at us. It seems clever, Renfield, you don't appreciate your position. Lifting his hand from the blanket, he clamps it tight over my mouth. Oh God. Sometimes it blocks my nostrils, sometimes not, but my breath sputters like a stubborn engine. You'll sell us our property. My eyes prickle with tears and I feel my face redden. The reward for your work will be survival. A place at our table if the work exceeds expectations, brief glimpses of sun. There is no out. For an extra second, he holds on. Satisfied he's made his point, he lets go. I gasp and choke for breath. Smearing saliva off my chin with the back of my hand, I give him the nastiest glare I've got. He manages to put twice the fury in his. With a scoff, he leans back in his seat. All that said, you're lucky Kazara was there to help this time. Kez came to the rescue. I didn't see her. What did she... That's interesting. She claimed you'd spoken. Or she's back to her old tricks. He purses his lips together. Kez's tricks being... Oh. Our discussion yesterday, we seemed to be getting along, but she's... No. There must have been an act. Thank her when you see her. Assuming you're able to leave the tower anytime soon. Last night took a toll. Shallow scratches run everywhere over me. The thing in the basement, the general, didn't do a number so much as a whole phone directory. But the worst is my leg. The general gouged through the heel and left several lateral cuts across my shin with that first grab. I think my Achilles tendon might be torn. Since the stairs don't have a banister, Dracula is right. I'll be stuck in this room unless someone offers help. ... The ghost asked for a third date. How will I get to him? If he died here, if he's trapped here since his death, there must be something he knows about the castle, the family, and how to escape them. Believing in ghosts is a lot easier in a place of vampires. Pardon? You're all vampires. ... A smile pushes across Dracula's face. Once it's reached its full width, it spreads open to show his teeth. The fangs. Here I thought you were totally oblivious. Watch yourself. An ounce of spilt blood can soon become an ocean. Standing from his seat, he heads for the door, limbs moving with such grace he almost seems to float. A shark sluicing through a ship graveyard. Miss Popescu will take you downstairs after you've done a satisfactory amount of work. Levedere, Renfield. He's gone. There's nothing to be done but follow his orders. Miss Popescu visits repeatedly over the course of the evening to clean and dress my wounds, bring light refreshments, empty the new chamber pot, and, with a solemn expression, check what I've written. However, much English she has, I know she doesn't speak legalese. Ooh. Legalese, what the hell. Right, do I fill in the sheet with formal looking nonsense or do the work properly? Ooh, I like this one. Okay, guys, number 1 or number 2. How brave are we? How brave are we feeling? How much are we going to pee off Dracula by not doing the work? We will be dead very quickly if we keep going down this road. Surely. But part of me is like, Renfield is still a proper little British gentleman. I feel like within the story, he'd want to do the job. Well, looking at the real Dracula, Jonathan does the job properly because he has someone to report back to and hopes it will get him home. But this is a different situation. So, what do you think? Number 1 or number 2? I am happy with either. I'm leaning towards 2. We've done a lot of brave things recently. But I'm happy for 1 or 2. So yeah. What do you think? 1 or 2? Vote 2. Vote 2. I want us to live to the end of the demo. This is fair. Okay. That's 2 votes for 2. I was leaning towards 2. So I think we should just do 2. Unless anyone can argue why we should do 1. I'm going to give it another few seconds. Okay. Alright guys, we're going to do 1. Oh, no, 2. Do the work properly. Yeah, if you want to play this yourself, let me know what the answers are. If you choose different answers as well. I'm really excited to hear how this game changes as well going onwards. So let's do the work properly. Who knows what will happen when the documents are done, but playing with Dracula when he's got me dead to rights is too risky. I complete several pages of reporting. On her 4th visit, Miss Popescu is satisfied and lends me a hand downstairs. With her taking the weight from my injured leg, it's an easy walk. What shall I do to get around? Are we stuck together? I'd like to take a bath, but I won't if I can't have privacy. Not that getting in and out alone will be a simple matter. Dracula provides his finest opera cane. When we are done, he will have it back. Kind of him. You are amusing. Everyone wants to see what you do, little bit like a fish tank at a restaurant. Aren't we both in the tank? You're not at all worried they'll eat you too? If it happens, it happens. As promised, there's a cane with a bejeweled head leaning on the wall by the bottom of the stairs. Miss Popescu twirls it around before handing it over. Have fun. Finally, I have my privacy. The hours yawn around me. The wind must be picking up. The shifting boards and rattling windows are eerie. Even though I struggle to imagine any terrors outside worse than what's housed here. Somewhere in these aching walls are the ghost's other parts. Find what I need to talk to him. Learn what he knows about Dracula. Avoid the nastier residents to the best of my currently limited abilities. Not as much evening left as I'd like. 2 or 3 hours at most. Okay, guys. Okay, so visit the kitchen for a proper meal. Search for the missing Englishman. Ask the caravan for help. Look for Ghost Sheets music or locate a piano for your date. So we can choose 3 of these and we have to do... So 2 of these we're not going to do. Gosh, like, search for the missing Englishman is something I'd like to do. But also, my boy, if we find him and then we try to escape, we're doomed. Also, your foot is busted. Like, I don't think this is the correct thing to do. It's the bravest thing to do, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's the right thing to do right now while we can barely help ourselves. So, I think to get our strength back, we should visit the kitchen, we should look for the Ghost Sheet music, and then locate a piano for our date. They're the 3 that I would like to do. Because the other 2, one is incredibly cowardly. Well, in terms of the game, it says coward. So I imagine we won't get very far. And then the missing Englishman, again, we can't help him in the state we are currently in. I'd rather us not get stuck. So, with that in mind, what would you guys like to do first? I'm gonna say, well, let's limit it to 1, 4, or 5 first. So yeah, let me know what you'd like us to do. I'm just gonna quickly save. Confirm. Oh no! Okay. Didn't mean to do that. Skip. Sorry guys. Skip. Didn't mean to do that. Do it properly. Skip. Wait, sorry. So, yeah, whoopsie. No, I won't save. Won't save, it'll be fine. At least we can skip. Okay, so, number 1, number 4, and number 5, guys, what are we doing? Or shall I play? This is the question. If you guys want to vote, I'm happy to do the vote. If you want to see what disastrous version of this game I will go down, I will also do that. But I'll need consensus from the chat. Okay, number 1. Sucker for kitchens, let's do 1. Yeah, let's do dinner first. Okay, cool. Well, we're all on the same page then. Let's do Let's do 1. Cool. Right, let's do 1. Okie dokie. It's hard not to flinch when I encounter the family now, Theodora included. Sorry for the intrusion. She stands at the stove with an anonymous hunk of meat on a pan. Not to worry. I heard you coming. How is the cane? Hard to get used to. Vicious, isn't he? Whoever she means, she's just as bad. Last night, the way she shakes the pan, summoning smoke from her food. The general? Yes, him. What is she cooking? She notices where I'm focused. Don't look at me like that. We're blood drinkers, not cannibals. It's a pork shoulder from Nico. Ripping a girl's throat out with your bare teeth is cannibalism though, isn't it? What can I do for you? Wasn't dinner enough? Offence turns to concern. She does want to be a good hostess for invited guests at least. If I could have a box of crackers or biscuits, a cheese board. Nothing that complex. I'd wanted an omelette or a baked potato, but it wouldn't be right to impose. Besides, I don't really want to spend the time alone with her in a room full of knives. It's so fun having 2 of you to look after, different tastes to cater to. Vlad wouldn't let me offer any other visitors anything. Doesn't want us getting attached. Because they're not long for this world? Jealousy. Oh, he can be petty, but it's silly of him, isn't it? We're his forever, to the ends of the earth, into the hell that awaits beyond it all. Most only have until death does them part. Her hands tremble around the grip of the pan. Aww. Aww. Guys, can we ask about her girlfriend? I want to vote for number 2. Number 2 for... What about Miss Popescu? Because we've got number 1. It sounds like a real special relationship. It's like, yeah, Renfield. What about Miss Popescu? And do you like it like that? I think 2, because obviously she likes Nico a lot. I'm definitely leaning for 2. The chat currently is asking for 2. We should definitely do number 2. Okay, let's do it. 2. What about her? She doesn't count. Does she know that? If she did, he'd have killed her decades ago. Or worse, had me do it. That's so chill, love. That's so, oh God. So pulling a spatula from the rack, she flips the chop. The smoke still smells uncomfortably like human flesh. I'm just not familiar with the smell of pork, that's all. That's all. Once Nico's done, I'll sort yours. Please, don't trouble yourself. Nonsense. While we've got you, consider yourself family. ... Oh, Roger. Lovely. 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 I worry about you quite a lot. Okay. So we have hung out with one of the brides. Okay. So the 2 I'm leaning towards still is look for the ghost sheet music and locate a piano for your date. Do we do 3 and 4? Is it the order 3 and 4? Yeah, the chat message is, but you are familiar with the smell of human flesh. Yeah, Renfield, buddy, are you okay? Obviously not. Oh, yeah, gotta worry about you a little bit. So yeah, guys, is it 3 or 4 we want to do for this? I think we should do 3, then 4. Because if he finds the sheet music first, then we find the piano, the ghost will be able to find us probably at the piano. If we have the sheet music first, that's probably a wise plan. But, yeah, okay. I've got to agree with 3. Anyone else disagree? I'm just having one of my little biscuits. 3 sounds good. Okay. Okay. I think We are good with 3. So I'm going to choose 3. Barring a dedicated music room somewhere, and if it exists, it could take the whole night to find it. Sheet music is probably stored in the library. Will Kez be here today too? Kez who? I'm not sure I want to be left alone with. What's her end goal? Why did the skies? Why throttle me awake, quit halfway, change tack overnight, become a dedicated Renfield conservationist? Who is she? Is that even the right word to use? She's directly above me. Kez. I love Kez. Heavy. Dusting her hands clean, she swings over her legs over the mezzanine rail and follows her book to the floor. Heard you coming. Had something to show you. It's recent, cloth-bound, red. Didn't have to throw it at me. Near you. Don't be so melodramatic. Thought you'd accepted I've got good intentions. Right. Dracula explained earlier, but face to face it's harder to reconcile with this. ... That. About last night. Thanks for cooperating. I get that being grabbed by a big scary monster when you're trying to avoid another one would be stressful. But he's already got his claws in, and I'd figured bold action was required. If I'd known who it was, I would have been less argumentative. Yeah, obviously. So why the... What is it, a costume? Exoskeleton. It's protective. Not that he'd bite me. Just those claws are nasty enough on their own. The shell's stronger, got longer legs. Horns a decent weapon. Look, it's... In my head, the whole thing looked different. In the moment, I forgot how other people see the smoke, the horns, everything. To me, it's just... I don't know. Can we talk about something else? Okay, so, number 1, the book, or number 2, it's not how the exoskeleton looked, it's that it tried to kill me. And there's a key, which I assume that means it unlocks conversations that we can't usually get, or it unlocks something for us. So I'm leaning towards 2 for that reason. I know she doesn't really want to talk about it, but also I think it's important that we stand up, because I think she can handle a lot, I think. Though she might be putting on a brave face, or actually she's a lot less. Oh, it means you've already unlocked it. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. So, shall we try 2, guys? I don't think we could have got this before. Interesting. I think we should choose 2 if it's something that, based on previous actions, we wouldn't have unlocked. We've unlocked this piece of information. What do you think, gang? We should choose 2. Got two. Okay. If I get more than 2 for something, I'm going to go for it, unless someone argues. Right, 2 it is. Who doesn't want to be a big, tall powerhouse sometimes? If I dwell on it, I'll get jealous. I've had to settle for being myself. Going from attempted murder to hero of the hour, though. Like I said, I had second thoughts. That's all the explanation I get? Second thoughts? Isn't it enough that I didn't strangle you? It's hard, by the way, strangulation. You have to look at the person the whole time, and that's a long time. You panicked. I panicked. Here we are. It's not the most calculated change of heart. How did you know it won't happen again? 'Cause. Kez. Every time, Vladdy hires the new help, uses them to his satisfaction, drains them dry, his plans move a little further along, we lose someone we started to care about. Kill them first, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. Sabotage him, protect us. Except I couldn't kill you. Aww. Guys, how do we respond? They couldn't kill us. That's so nice of them. Do we do number 1 this time? Or do we do number 2? I feel like part of me wants to do what's special about me. Or you're a soft touch. Yeah, you're a soft touch feels like you're poking. Like, what's special about me feels more like a genuine, like, what's the difference between me and everyone else? I've got to vote for number 1. Also, cannot wait to hear these voice acted, by the way. Yeah, we've been seeing the gorgeous casting for this game, and again, I'm just big fan of Erica, who's playing Kez, and just, yeah, that's amazing. Yes, which hopefully will happen if we get this made. So come on, guys, help us get it made. Okay, right, I'm going to choose number 1. We've got 3 votes for 1. Let's go. Kez, nothing. Aww. She looks askance. Is that so? Ugh. Reaching out, she closes her hand into a fist and curls her arm inward, flexing her bicep beneath her sleeve. Hey, Rog, you've had work done, haven't you? I choke on nothing. What? Held you pretty close. Seemed to me there are a few bits missing. However you slice it. I don't mean to be rude. Just, am I right? Oh my god. Are we both different? Kez. Honey. What? What? Yeah. Sure, she's clocked me. What's going on? Guys, number 1 or number 2? That depends. Feels loaded. Number 2 confirms. Yeah, we're confirming stuff with Kez of number 2. Number 1 feels like it depends on what you mean by what's different about you. I mean, you know, Kez is a vampire. God. Okay. Guys, 1 or 2? 1 or 2? I'm not sure what the best answer is here. I'm leaning towards 1. Let me know in the comments. 1 or 2? 1, that depends. 2, you're right about me at least. Okay. No responses, so I'm gonna make a choice because we've been giving you a little while. So let's do. I feel like that depends is a good answer. I think that might be the one I'm gonna go for. I think we've been thinking about it. I think that depends. Like, that kind of opens up. Like, that depends. What's different about you that isn't what we don't know already. But then you're right about me at least is confirming to her that she's right. Yeah. And that's fine. Don't worry. I wasn't assuming you'd vote. I thought you was here for the giggles to watch me squirm. Okay, I'm gonna put. Oh, it's so hard. You're right about me. Yeah, they're 2 very good options. I just don't know which one is a good one. I think. Okay, we've got a vote for 1. Let's just do 1. Let's just go with 1. I think back on our past encounters, other than our first, Kez has been nothing but helpful, I bet annoyingly cryptic. This might be an opportunity to puncture that cryptic front and get us communicating. Let's test the waters. I have had work done, but why do you think it's relevant to you? Kez's eyes wander around the room. I don't think she'd thought we'd actually have this conversation, whatever it is. Eventually she lets out a stale breath from between her teeth, like a punctured tyre. Cows aren't meant to ask how the farmer's feeling, not even the ones who avoid being on the menu. We keep you as pets and stare into those big old eyes and think about how merciful we are. That's what you do for us. You asked. Besides, I'm not a cow, I'm a human. Weren't you ever? Kez, how are we alike? ... I don't know how you ever stopped being embarrassed long enough to see a doctor. Smoke emanates from her, forming a thick cloud that further thickens into a solid mass of charcoal. It encases her, slips underfoot to become a pair of ligamental platforms, extends and bulks out each limb, jets upwards into a series of tall spikes. Once the new shape is fully carbonized, those bright eyes open at the top, followed by the sharp teeth. I steel myself, refuse to flinch, though my heart trembles like a prey animal, beats so fast it vibrates in agony at being this close to such a predator. Kez? A hand slams through the shelf by my shoulder. 5 fingers crush through the spines of 5 hardbound books. I jolt upright but hold position. Caught between Kez and the wall, I wait, shivering in place. Kez leans in, radiating heat. Afraid? Guthonically deep-voiced. I can hear you are. Placing a single claw beneath my chin, raking it along my throat to rest on my chest. But being like this is fun for me. Sweeping the claw back upwards and Kez bends it and flicks my nose the crook of the finger. It leaves an ashy residue that makes me sneeze. Being somebody else. The smile vanishes like smoke on the wind. I couldn't stand being fodder, or decoration, or a girl. Ha! That's I've learned to tolerate. Most women aren't tolerating it. See, this is why I didn't want to talk. This is ridiculous. Isn't it enough to not like yourself? Take a break from everything that's wrong with her. You're the one who got us on the topic. Because that's why I stopped the other night. Nobody else that come here has been like you. We stare at each other. Until Kez breaks. Like me. They fall slack, forehead coming to the shelf above my head, chin rustling my hair. God. Oh, we should console her. We should absolutely console her. This is awkward, it's not an option, guys. It's one or two. I think console is probably the best option. Even if they are, like, they find that tricky. I think complimenting them, not a great idea if we don't know what it is that they're dealing with. I think consoling them makes the most sense. But please, what do you think? I'm leaning towards 1. If anyone else wants to argue that 2 would be a better option, please do. Also, while I'm waiting for people to respond, you can get a No mug, which is our Homeward Foundation mug. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, no, there it is. It's a Homeward Foundation special, and it has the logo on the back. And you can get it from our Redbubble to support the Homeward Foundation podcast. But yes, just while I was waiting for some votes. Yes. I'll put the Redbubble in the chat a little later. But yes, I think console, someone said, sounds like a safe option. I still think it's the best option. If anyone else wants to disagree and say like, no, we should be complimenting them, we will. But I think, looking at it, we're probably fine. So I'm going to go with console. Let's console them. It'll take a while to figure yourself out. If all I've done so far is cause confusion, that won't last. Knowledge brings clarity. Don't need to tell me that. Any of that. I've had 10 times as long as you've had. Nobody can get there alone. That's not actually true. I did. They won't want to hear that though. Sure, whatever. Retreating, they bend to the floor and collect the book from where it landed. As they lift it, the exoskeleton cracks and dissipates. If you're so keen on learning, take a look at this. I shift closer and adjust my glasses. Together we peer at the cover. MSQ. Opera complete. I don't think my Iranian's good enough for this book, for a book this big. There's no English translation yet. Is there a reason you're showing me something I can't read? Mihai Emiscu is our national poet, the spirit of Romania itself, from a certain perspective. Don't know if I agree, but I can't argue that he's important. Part of his work is putting our folklore on paper. Typical romantic stuff, heroes and princesses and dragons, and how about this one? Dreamy men who appear in the shower of stars, all beauty and glamour, ethereal blue lights batting their blank, dead doe eyes. You know about him. I know you know. Why doesn't anyone else talk about him? If anyone says his name, they pay for it. We're supposed to act like he never existed, like he doesn't exist. Can't speak to him either. We're tuned to Vladdy's frequency. Anything loud enough to override him is bound to break our veins in the process. Despite the prohibition, the spirit is important to Kez. We wouldn't be talking about him. Before he died, who was he? A wistful look tinges their face. All he's admitted is that he's a salesman, but that can't be it. God, no. He meant so much to me. Nobody else saw me for who I really was. If there's anything I can do to help him, consider it done. Whatever crimes he's committed, it doesn't deserve to be punished like this. Crimes. The ghost hasn't mentioned any crimes. He wouldn't, would he? The mundane stuff is under heavy guard, so who knows how tight the security on his actual secrets is. What does he need? Has he explained anything? I think we should tell her about the body parts, guys. I feel like we're becoming friends. We're getting close. She might still kill me, but I feel like the body parts is helpful. Having someone in the castle that knows that we're trying to find the body parts is helpful, and someone that obviously cares about the ghost. So I would like to go for 1. Anyone else want to fight for the bravery or the salesman factoid? Please let me know. And whilst you choose, I'll find the Redbubble link for our merch for Homeward. Should be Georgia Cook Shop. Yeah, and you'll be able to find lots of different things to do with Homeward on there. We're hoping to add some more as well. So I'll paste. There we go. So, in the meantime, 1. 1 sounds fun. Okay. Cool. Let's wait and see if anyone else would like to put in their thoughts. Otherwise, I will just do 1. Okay, I'm going to give it 10 seconds. Okay, right. Number 1 is how we're going. Yeah. Nobody knows specifics of where they are except for the obvious, like the bathroom being off limits or the billiard set being unbalanced. Any leads? He said he'd play piano for me if I found him the music. Poof, that's a lead or an opportunity to show off. A lead, I think. I'm sure he's gutted to be stuck doing that. I really hope there aren't any guts at the piano. I think that's the one I really want to answer. It'll be romantic. I really hope there aren't any guts on piano. As long as he's good, I don't mind. I like the guts. I feel like maybe one of his limbs is within the piano. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2. Because yeah, I'd like to play as much more of this as we can. So let's go with 2. Oh my god, that's not what I meant. You're adorable, you know. What? Never mind. Before you get too excited, there's an experiment I'd like to try. They open the book to a page of a woven bookmark. Mention not having much Romanian. Yes. Take a look at this. I'm not pronouncing that Romanian name. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try. Okay, Luciferol. Oh god, no. I'm not saying any of that. Sorry, guys. I do not want to butcher this language. Ooh, oh out, beautiful as but in dreams an angel shows. The way though thou hast opened for me, for forever close. Ooh. Is she helping us read Romanian? Thy port and mine and speech are strange. Life thy gleams don't impart. For I'm alive and thou art dead, and thy eyes chill my heart. Why can I? Figures. They closed the book. In the basement, while I carried you out, I heard you speak a little Romanian. And she, unless you've got family around here, there's no reason you'd be calling uncle that, except... Is it to do with him? Yeah. When he latches on someone, those fingers sink in deep, and he doesn't always care what he gouges loose. Have a nice date. Make music together. Help him find himself. But don't lose yourself in the process. Know when to say no. Okay. Cool. Because for everything he gives, he takes. Language for language, memory for memory, thought for thought. He doesn't get his own body. Mine isn't worth the material it's made from. That might not stop him. Promise you'll be careful, and I'll go get the music he's after. Of course. Kez nods appreciatively. With that settled, we set the book aside and proceeds deeper into the library. Any requests? I hum the tune from our previous encounter tunelessly. They wince. If he ever offers his perfect pitch, accept that. I kind of got Das Rufus, like how you can filter piss into water. Spinning on their stiletto, they disappear on the back room of the library. Paper whips around and several boxes hit the floor while they mumble over it all. Finally, they return with their hand-bound music book in hand. Schubert Winterreise. The pages weigh heavily on the frayed binding. A lot of pages for what I assume was a single song. Is it a symphony? A song cycle? They slap my shoulder as they hand it over. Enjoy the lesson. After everything you've said, I'm worried I won't. Oh, don't be afraid. Deciding the slap wasn't enough encouragement, they shoved me onwards. Just be cautious. How could I not be? Clutching the book tight to my chest, I take my leave. Kez seems to dissolve back into the shadows, consumed by the cavern of stories. Tens of thousands of books in competition for a single reader. Vulnerable too, though adept at hiding it. A sprightly pair of high-heeled shoes follow me around the corridor. Theodora, don't tell me she was serious about... Master Renfield! Veering round the corner with her tray in hand, she beams when she spots me. Here's your cheese board. I didn't really expect anything. Don't have any faith in me? Her smile falters as she comes to a stop. Most people wouldn't bother. That's a shame to hear. You ought to find better friends. Come along, the parlour's the closest room with a decent table. Hustling by, obviously expecting I'll follow, she pauses a moment later when she realises I've hesitated. There aren't many hours left in the evening. Come on! She switches the tray to one hand and catches me with the other. Seems there's no denying her. The tray is pushed to the end of the coffee table. Theodora sits as far away as possible, like she's watching a bird feeder. It's got samples of a wide array of cheeses, along 3 types of tracker, a pile of olives, and various dried fruits. Plus a few cured meats I didn't want. Here's your cheese balls is actually what should be there. I think we need an edit of here's your cheese balls. Definitely need that. Someone want to make that and put it on Tumblr or on social media. I think that absolutely should be there. Do it. But yes. Also, I could have said cheese balls. We can go back and look later. I do slip up on my words quite often. I get very self-conscious about it, which is why I like to try and do these sorts of things, because it terrifies me. But yeah. Plus a few cured meats I don't want. Despite the variety of food, it is a sensible supper portion. Just a few of each of them in bite-sized serves. Try the cavascaval. She points at a yellowy triangle to the edge of the plate. Goes well with olives. Since I don't have any strong preference, the cavascal is a fine place to start. It does go well with the olives. She is much better at this than she is with desserts. Delicious, salty and creamy. The cheeses form a circle, so I continue round them clockwise, interspersed with olives and fruits. Nico's recommendation: don't let how she talks for you. She's so cultured. I feel like a complete hick when we're together. Theodora's gaze slides to the corner of the room, where 6 crates are stacked 3 by 2. Cheeses from around the country, furniture from around the continent, music from around the world. The trouble with being a princess is you're meant to stay in your own principality, in a luxurious castle. With a handsome prince, Vlad knows I feel limited. London is meant to help. After the conversation the 3 of us had, I'm not so sure her interpretation is right. Who picked it out? None of us, to be honest. There used to be someone else here who... no, it's not for me to say. Interesting. Though whether I can convince her to divulge anything, I am not sure. Ooh. So we've unlocked it. And it's a brave thing to do, guys. I think we should pick number 1. Come on, guys. Who's with me? Number 1? Number 1? I think we should pick number 1. I'll give you guys a sec. But there's where would you have picked as well, which is I think that's good as well, but I want to do the someone else. I think we're getting along. I feel like telling her about the cakes went not so great, but she's nicer now to us. Yes, no, yes. Okay. Let's be brave. Number 1. Nosy. We had a 5th resident, don't tell Vlad I mentioned this, who left us for London. Ever since it's been a fixation of his. What made London so appealing? 40 years he paced around asking the empty halls, why London, why London, why London? Since he couldn't find the answer here, he decided we had to search for it there. It's not the only reason. Pickings are slim, it's true, since the Great War, but that's what piqued his interest. I never would have guessed. No, so don't breathe a word to anyone, or it'll be obvious you were told. In under a minute, we've gone from don't tell Dracula to don't tell anyone. This must be a serious point of contention within the family. Hooray for chatterboxes! Thank you for your insight. Remember though, shh. Shortly after I finish the plate, meat excluded, we both stand, Theodora collecting the tray. What's your plans for the rest of the night? Exploring. I could explore for 100 years without seeing every room in this place. That's true. The basement is a maze. I'm sure I've missed 2 or 3 of the rooms there. Don't let me keep you. Performing a single-handed curtsy, she keeps the tray artfully balanced. I feel a certain pressure to bow and reply, but I resist. This has been a surprisingly pleasant break. Now, there's work to do. Evening, Princess. Enjoy yourself, Master Enfield. We head in opposite directions at the door, though I'm not too sure where I'm headed next. Guys. Okay, quick break. We'll discuss the voting. I still think it's to locate a piano. However, so both the brides seem like... Theodora seems like I've accepted my fate, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Kez is very... I don't like it here, but it's tough. We haven't met Elena yet. She scares me. I think she might be either, OG bride, and therefore, she knows what she wants and she will take it. Or, she's still incredibly new, but I don't know. I'm very curious. Let me know what you think about her. Because I don't believe you can romance her either, which interests me. Just having a little look at the Kickstarter while I have it open. Yeah, she's not romanceable. Neither is Theodora, I don't think. So I really want to find out more about her, and I assume she's going to be in the main game more. Yeah, exciting. I'm going to find a piano because I said I would. So let's do the piano. Let's do it. Let's hang out with our ghost friend. To play music, it's important to have an instrument. The castle doesn't seem to have a dedicated room, and there isn't an organ in the main hall, so I'm not sure where to start looking. So I remember seeing a chapel somewhere on the ground floor. Religion and music go hand in hand, and down the aisle of almost every demonition in the world. Whatever faith Dracula practices, it ought to have some kind of accompaniment. Ooh. Shoving the double doors inwards, I find myself at the back of a 50-seat Orthodox church. Not huge, but bigger than the family needs. The densely ornamented walls and lack of windows make it feel cramped for its size. Too tight and decorative to feel like the synagogues I'm used to, which only increases the sense of alienation. These aren't familiar beliefs. It's even a different type of Christianity to what they practice at home. Protestants don't clutter their churches. Yeah. Oh, I accidentally went backwards. Back. Multiple layers removed from its own faith. What am I... Yeah, so their own faith. So, are we suggesting that Renfield is Jewish? I'm afraid my religion is horrendous. It's been a long time. But I'm going to assume synagogues I'm used to. Very cool. That's very cool. I was not expecting that. And very interesting to create a Jewish trans man in the 30s. Well done, gang. The only consolation is that Dracula doesn't seem to use it anymore himself. Instead of electricity or gas, the chapel is lit by bare candles, dripping from rows of candlesticks, and not nearly dense enough to brighten the whole room. Candles that burn blue. Okay. The brightest surround the piano by the altar. Into agonizing light. Ah! then subsides to an aura and a headache. Squinting through the pain, I see him, in a tight pose on the piano bench, elbows kept near his waist and spine as straight as can be, playing a new tune. I move in closer to watch his lithe hands work the keys. Except when I reach the end of the aisle, I notice the keys aren't moving. Why can't I hear a song? Swan Lake, Moderato, written for the oboe. The piano, though, can cover for almost any part in the orchestra, versatile as they come, able to play whatever role is required. It can be a lifesaver, or a mere panacea. What's the point of a piano? It's not a formal part of the ensemble, yet when it's gone we miss its utility. Always wanted, never needed. In the middle of the phrase he slams his hands through the board. Instead of 10 notes, dozens play at once. Welcome to our lesson, Roger. Have you brought the music? Hesitantly, lifting the messy book overhead. In case the pages try to escape, I smile. Das with us? Wunderbar! His shoulders relax and he pats the stand above the keyboard. In a slow, intentional motion, he turns round on the bench, swinging his legs from the inside to the outside. The surface of his body shimmers like a pool of quicksilver, insubstantial, forcing itself to stay together just for me. Take a seat. I approach the bench. The closer I am, the colder he is, until he's right against me. The icy aura turns my face and fingers numb. We sit together. ... Evening. He smiles sharply. All right, let's play. We cram into the middle of the bench where his leg brushes mine. It turns numb. How much experience do you have? They let me touch the glockenspiel once at school. God, it's like society wants good music to die. Have you heard of any Tedora's ghastly records? I didn't know she collected them. Americans going wham, wham, wham. He demonstrates on the keys. Here, time to fill these halls of actual artistry. Arching his long fingers across the middle of the board, he draws a delicate tune from the centre of the piano. But as he extends to the upper and lower ranges in what I realise is a tuning exercise, he reveals a number of bad notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eternal and almost inaudible. Rotten hammers, frayed wires. Concluding his demonstration, he gestures that it's my turn. Looks down hard and fast. None of that practiced beauty, just clumsy sound. It won't bite. Might deafen us. Can't you? It isn't a lesson if the teacher does all the work. But I can help. Guy, he disappears. Tiny motes of light hover in the air where he was. The room hums in anticipation. What's his play? I prepare to stand on the bench, extending my hands to use the keyboard for balance. So reach out, they trail a pale blue after-image. My legs won't move at all. Something tugs my muscles and levers my bones, jolts my elbows straight, sets me back into position to my ear. The ghost. Sit up, your posture is awful. Guys, what do we do? I think that we should defend ourselves a little bit, because we need to continue to we want to be in his good favour, but Kez said to not let him control us entirely. Is this the right time? Do we defend ourselves, or do we obey without complaint and then pick our battle for later? What do you think? We let him get away with everything to do with shaving us earlier this last session. And I think the billiards we are quite nice with him. So I'm tempted to do 2 to defend ourselves a bit. What are we thinking? Vote for 1, vote for 2, vote for 3, and we'll see where we go. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. We've got a vote for 2 in the chat. Okie dokie. Anyone else? At the moment, technically, it's me and Bonica for 2. So if we get anyone else. I'm also curious about the other 2, to be fair. Interesting. Okay. Tell you what. We've got 2 votes for 2, so we'll do 2. But yes, I highly recommend everyone getting hold of the demo and giving it a go yourself and seeing and letting me know what the other options are. But I'm going to go with 2. Now we've had a little wait, so 2. I'll sit how I like. The ghost, not anymore. Slowly, something draws my spine out until I'm seated as tall as it stretches. You're controlling me. I'm being worn like an ill-fitted suit. I've been possessed. Do we tell him to stop? Or see where it's going? I mean, I'm currently doing an audio drama which is about being possessed by a ghost. I feel my I feel my reaction is kind of biased. I kind of want Renfield to say stop that and be brave. Considering, again, we've had that conversation with Kez. But really all we're going to be doing is playing music. Sorry. So what do we think? 1 or 2 or 3? I mean, 1 is a brave option. We have liked going quite brave with this so far. What are we thinking? What are we thinking, gang? We've got a 3 vote. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Voting for 3. So we've got 1, stop that. 2, see where it goes. 3, it's a strange sensation. Okay. We've had a vote for 3. I'm tempted to go with 1. In that case, I feel like actually that's a stalemate. So we should actually vote for 2. Because we haven't had a vote for 2 yet. I'm going to go with 2, I think. I'm going to vote for 2. Take it in stride. Ghost-possessed people. That's what they do. This might not be what I had in mind, but it's not bad yet. Is this okay? His tone says he doesn't care whether it is or not. It's just polite to ask. ... Yes? Wonder how many excuses he had prepared if I challenged him on it. Do whatever's necessary. Excellent. Now he's taken my voice. Resuming at the piano, he doesn't fully understand how to move me, and it's less accurate than his phantom performance was. It takes several taunt descending scales for him to get a new sense of his limitations. While he's preoccupied, I manage to overpower him. Yeah, I feel like not my voice, that's not yours. Because we have kind of allowed him. Yeah. I think, yeah. I generally be like, look, mate, we're playing piano. Don't take my voice. And I'm gonna make that executive decision to see what happens next. A voice you hate the sound of. Why get precious about it? Oh, Ghost in Renfield. I don't like that. Oh, how dare you? How does he know all my neuroses? What gives him the right to them? He won't so much as tell me his name. Kick him out. How dare you? How dare? Nah, this is too far. For me, that's rude. I'm like, nah. Kez is better. Kez is nuts. I like the ghost. But I feel like he's making some... You should have asked. Consent is a thing. Consent, though. He didn't ask. Like, it's an important thing. Consent. We as people ask for things when it's going to put people out. Instead, he's not done that. So my personal opinion is I would kick him out. But like, oi. So I think that's what I would like to do. We've got a vote for 2 as well. We're going to need... Anyone want to vote for 1 or 2? Convince me not to kick him out. He might... Ooh. Interesting. So we've got a response in the chat. My opinion on 1 or 2 depends on how much longer you think you'll be playing. Interesting. I mean, I planned another hour with maybe a 10-minute break somewhere when it was convenient. So if that... For now, if there was more game, I might play more game. Maybe, like, yeah. But for today, an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending. Because I have to eat dinner at some point today. Because it is coming up to 6 o'clock. Interesting. With that in mind... Okay, so 1 will result in a longer playtime. Use the info as you will. Oh, I feel like that suggests that the ghost will just take over me and... Oh. But then putting up with him means he might help us more. Oh, guys, what do we do? We have been given inside knowledge, and that inside knowledge is very interesting. 1 will result in a longer playtime. 2 won't. 1 seems to be the more dangerous thing to do, but will cause a much longer playtime. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Okay, oh no. Like, part of me, like, genuinely, the consent thing is a problem. And I think that it's important for Renfield to stand up for himself, because this wasn't asked for. You know, we stood up to Dracula, we stood up to everyone else. Why aren't we standing up to the ghost who's currently trying to possess you to do stuff? So I'm going to go with kick him out. So, longer playtime. Stop. We're done here. Oh my god, that's such a creepy image. You're not serious. We need each other. No, we don't. This isn't mutual. It's like wading against white water. The ghost struggles to keep us on the bench, but I force my legs straight and stand, tipping it over through me and knocks me to the floor too. This is truly pointless, Roger. Get back here. Piss off! I thrust my arms straight and hook my fingers in the gaps of the tiled floor, hauling myself forward a few inches at a time, muscles cramp and trembling. I refuse to pause or turn around. Don't you want me? He lifts my voice sickeningly high. Why don't you want me? He plunges it again, agonizingly low. I don't want to be under anyone's control. Unable to turn the tide, the ghost settles for beating me into submission. I try to get my leg under me. He kicks it out. I try to shuffle forward. He rolls me into a pew. I try to grab the back and haul myself upright. He prizes my hand open, so I crash face first into the upholstery. No, no, no. I'll come back for the rest of you someday. I manage to stand on my own 2 feet. But we are not doing this now. Not like this. He sends a shock that could overload an entire electrical grid. Every visible inch of me sparks with blue light. Shuts off. I fall limp and alone in the middle of the aisle. His voice crackles through the frigid air. I can make you regret this. I can make you regret everything. ... Why not save that energy for Dracula? Something catches in that amorphous throat. The room flickers as he begins to cry. Oh, why not? Why did I? I find my cane and limp out of the chapel. Come back! Come back! Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Because, honestly, like, I'm with Renfield on this one. No one should, I am upfront about this. I'm a trans guy. Being comfortable in my own body is very important to me. And if you're playing a trans man within this game and someone is trying to possess your body, it's something we do talk about in Homewood as well, with like Mina and Maddie discussing like the fact that she's trans, and like they have a big chat about like her like about all of that in the pilot, and then like needing Mina to trust Maddie and Maddie to trust Mina, and it's a really important topic. And I'm just so glad as well that we have the choice to stop with the ghost. That's really important to me, guys. Like, it's very cool. And I'm hoping that's a better way forward. So yeah, great. I'm so glad we had the option as well. So that's it for tonight. If I was supposed to be escorted upstairs, I don't need to be. I take myself back to the tower. The moment I enter the room, I collapse on the bed. What am I supposed to do now? Without the ghost to rely on, I'm back on my own wits, above average, not spectacular, and my own 2 legs, only one of which is working. It's not an ideal situation. There's no way I could have accepted him trying to mould me into his vessel. It gets uncomfortable just thinking about it. I refuse to be a vessel for anyone, let alone him, a man who treated me like an errand boy. The question, what to do, swirls around inescapable, mismatic for 10 minutes, half an hour, till the sky outside lightens just by the shade. Dawn is coming. Once, when I was seeing a regular therapist before the institutionalization at Stone House took the good coping tactics and replaced them with a shock treatment, I was taught a useful strategy for breaking a nighttime spiral. Don't stay in bed, move to a different room, do a relaxing activity, and only return to bed once you've forgotten the problem or gotten too tired to care. Since I've got the cane handy and the vampires will be heading to sleep themselves, it's an appropriate moment to catch that tactic here. Worst comes to worst, I'll meet Miss Pepperskew or the caravanners in the hall. I don't think they mean any harm. Clambering to my feet, I set downstairs to do something relaxing. Like have a cup of tea. Yes, I'll have a cup of tea. The kitchen is on a main thoroughfare. I don't have any trouble remembering where to find it. There aren't any electric kettles, but we have a top stove model until I was about 20, and I've got no issue using these instead. The stove itself has an ignition, impressive, which means the process is still as simple as filling the jug and pressing a button. The hardest part is carrying the kettle between the tap and the oven. It's wrought iron, could be 100 years old, and hasn't been meant to be used single-handed. When it comes to boil, I locate the tea shelf. There's now rows of jars of leaves and a few types of strainers. Since the labels are in Romanian, I take a chance on something marked te. It sounds a bit like tea. Could be plain local variety like chai in India. Rise from a cup. The perfect brew for a sleepless night. Herbals want 3 to 5 minutes to steep in my experience, so I take a wander around the rest of the expansive kitchen. Theodora said it doesn't get much use, but it's clean, tidy and fully equipped. Any restaurateur would be happy with their facilities. Pots of every size, labelled spice jars, clean metal and stone surfaces, a cellar door in the corner providing direct access to cool storage in the basement, knives galore hanging racked in the drawers on the benches. They shouldn't need that many knives. Tea steeped. I clean the leaves in the bin and pull up a chair at the centre island. Not that I'm worried about the family, but I still feel uneasy having my back to the door, so I position myself where I've got a clear view of anyone who comes in. So I don't have milk in the tea, it's hot, enough to burn the tip of my tongue when I take the first sip. The flavour's good, light and aromatic, calming. I can hear people in the distant courtyard. The majority of the Cavaliers keep to a nocturnal schedule, but not all. Cast people who need daylight, children who need homeschooling, tireless Miss Popescu. There are noises in the castle too. People changing shifts, rustles in the basement where I presume produce, ephemic or not, is being stocked. Crypts are being climbed into and the missing Englishman just might be found. Longing to take deliveries of casks and crates through that way. Here, enjoying this cup of tea, being at peace with the moments in the castle was effortless. I could drift to sleep on this stool. Life is okay. Me. Oh god, the general's back. Ah! Ah! The thing from the basement, the general. I catch myself on my cane and stumble backwards. The general splinters the wood stool beneath his booted foot. Ooh. Grab the kettle or the knife. Hot water or stabby stab. I'm not sure a knife will. The kettle's hot though. Am I gonna risk burning him or stabbing him? Oh, guys, what do I do? What do I do? Oh god, okay. I really want to get the knife. It's this mirror, Jonathan Harker, but also I feel like boiling hot water might also be useful. I feel like the knife is the obvious one. I'm gonna go the kettle. If anyone wants to shout at me, do so, but I'm gonna take the kettle. Let's go. Sweeping my hand over the stove, I catch the kettle by the hand and arc it round in front of me. Completely by accident, I deflect an incoming swipe from the general's claws. Oh, thank God. While he's disorientated, a split-second opportunity, I reverse the kettle's trajectory and throw it. Hi. He judders back. I abandon my half-finished cup of tea and flee the room. Sprinting into the corridor with a moment's lead on him, I get my first chance to ask, what is he doing here? Especially when there are other people around. Why me? Isn't he behind top-level supernatural security? How did he breach all those bars? What drove him past that many obstacles? Did someone let him out? Did he let himself out? If I face him alone, it'll be suicide, which means the best course of action is to find somebody else, guiding him towards the courtyard to get people killed. Where are the family? Dracula can take care of him. It's basically sunrise. The four of them should be asleep. Vampires sleep in the crypt. Where is the crypt? Since this is the ground floor, it can't be far. It's close. The general bursts into the hall behind me. His hair and shirt are soaked from the kettle. He charges. I race around the corner in search of the nearest basement access. The lower levels are as scrutable as they were before. I haven't seen the general in minutes thanks to how many corners there are to turn. The only evidence he's here with me is the rattle of his armour. Being subtle does not matter. He can hear or smell enough that he doesn't lose track. Distance never increasing or decreasing. Speed is what's needed. Only rushing through an unfamiliar environment. It seems like my hasty decisions are taking me further from where I want to be. Every wall is made from identical stonework. Every entrance leads to an empty storeroom. Every footstep deeper into the nightmare of sameness. Desperate for guidance, I cry out, Dracula, Teodora, Kazara, Elana. Nobody is in there. Oh no, there's a cat now trying to get my attention. It's Bertie's dinner time. Won't you down in a second? Except him. Turning on my heel, I double back. Grim confusion sets in. The lights are fading. The hall goes forever. I may not have found the crypt, but I have found my grave. There's a crack in the floor. I plummet face first, smash the lenses of my glasses. While I fumble for them, a mass of tendrils lick around my other arm. I get hold of the bridge, set back in place, and turn to face him. The ghost is there instead. Instead of uncountable tendrils, 5 delicate fingers clutch my wrist. He stares at me, the picture of serenity. He kneels by my side, terribly cold, leans in to offer a grievous embrace. Tsk. We'll have to send for another lawyer. I hope you're happy with yourself. Miss Popescu, distill whatever's left of Master Renfield. Brides, see if there's anything of value in his suitcase. And as for you, I could add 10 years for that. We'll settle it tomorrow. Have I just... Yes, everything will be clearer tomorrow. I'm dead! I died! I died! Oh no! Okay! Wow! Well, isn't that interesting? So yeah, so I can walk it off. That's amazing. Okay, so right, I want to see what happens. So okay, hang on. I need to really quickly feed my cat. Give me 5 seconds, because he will bite me if I don't feed him. He's been attacking me. 1 sec, guys. Okay, hello. I'm back, I promise. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. That was much less than I expected. Yeah, I was expecting to play for a little bit longer. Wow, dead. Very dead. So yeah, so just in case you aren't reading the chat, so the good news, in the full game, this branch actually leads to Ker's route rather than a dead end. But for the demo, we only have longer versions for the Dracula and the ghost routes, which is really cool. That's really good to know, and I really enjoyed, like, I didn't realise that I was on the Kez route. It makes sense I was on the Kez route. I thought I was down the ghost route. Yeah. Oof. Okay. So, basically, this suggests if I do want to see the demo ending, I have to go back to the ghost choices, and I assume we have to just let him control, which is fine. I'm happy to do it now. I know that there's an option where I can see what happens next. So we're going to reload. We're going to skip back to the ghost. Unfortunately, I do have to play a little bit of it again, but that's fine. Yes, if you're joining us, I'm just going to skip a lot of this because we've already done it. So skip. And I think I'm going to do the same things we did before. On the A is for autosaves. Ah. Okay, hang on. So on the load page. Okay. Whoop! Oh, I accidentally closed it. Let's try that again. Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. Cool. So I should be able to load a choice closer to the piano scene. So let's load that back up. Cool. So thank you for helping as well. So Fine Feathered Fiends in chat is one of the creators of the project. And please, while we're letting this load up, I will put the Kickstarter in the Twitch because it's so exciting. There's 14 days to go. They got $17,000 to make. Yeah. That's US dollars. So in English money, it's £17,000 left to get. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. It's such a good project. Please do. Right, let's see if we can get back to the auto load. So load. Okay. A is autosaves. Ooh, okay. So let me just delete these ones because they are confirm. Don't need that again. Right, so I think the one we want is this one. Okay, so I think this one basically we want to go back and use whatever's useful. So let's do that. So use whatever's useful. So if you just joined us, we got the death end. We got killed by the general, which is this really weird monster vampire creepy thing. Yeah. Sad times, but we want to look at the Dracula, more of the Dracula playthrough. So we're gonna let the ghost control, and hopefully it'll be nice. We'll see. So voice, hands, face. I've never liked myself. How obliging. Almost like a baton pass, I feel my hold on myself slip through my fingers as he carries me on to whatever goal he has in sight. Confidence amplified. The ghost drifts from scales into what must be the pieces on the front page. Winterez, no. Gut luck. Number 1. Gut luck. I'm not pronouncing terrible German. Like, I can't do German. I'm not going to do it. Okay. A stranger I arrived, a stranger I depart. Do you know the story of the Winterez? So we can do, it has a story. I'm not interested in the story. Or let me guess. I think I'm gonna ask, because now we know, like, there is like the ghost path has a lot more options, so I'm gonna ask more about the story. So we're gonna go in number 1. Schubert loved his Lieder, musical poems. This is one of those. A man is rejected by a woman he loves. We join him on his ride home through the forest that bleak night. Along the journey he has a variety of encounters which culminate in the page of the songbook flitter ahead about us touching them. Song 21. Das Rutas. A brief rest at the graveyard. A favourite? When I last played. Now I don't know how to feel. Under his construction, my voice is refined from a flat, faltering thing to a full, flowing instrument. It's like having a dentist professionally clean your teeth, details the owner could never see found and brought to attention. Painful sometimes to discover what you've missed on your own, but rewarding to see what can be done in the future. Don't speak. He stops me before I have said a word. Remember, we can't make any mistakes. That goes for the vocals too. I wanted to ask him how he's outdone me at being myself when I've had a lifetime to practice. And then he speaks more. German, I'm not going to say that. A low laugh resounds in my head between stanzas. It's not that hard to operate something if you've adjusted the controls. What do you mean? Don't dwell on it. Ghost! In a fright, I try to wrestle my hands from the keys, but he keeps them and the music steady. Careful! All I did was restring your vocal cords to reduce the pitchness. It was nothing, not like lengthening your fingers. My voice doesn't sound right because it's not my voice. When I glance at my hands, it's true, they're not mine either. The colour is right, the freckles and filed nails, but the joints are longer, the length of an average man's. What has he done? How did he... He's a ghost! Since when can ghosts... Not to worry. All reversible. I'd never alter anything without due cause, unless you've got a request. Oh. Oh, guys. Oh, no. Again, I don't want to go down the get out now route because we've already done that, and I think that causes the same outcome, I would imagine. So I think, what else can you do? Would be interesting. So I'm going to ask, what else can you do? What he's doing, bending my bones, shifting my skin and his whims, should disgust me. It's a breach of trust, autonomy, biology, which is why originally I went for that version. Instead of transfixed, by the results and by the possibilities, and the ghost senses my interest. With the right materials to hand, I can make anyone into anything, break your pieces apart and leave you a cross-section celebration of human autonomy, reshape you into someone else, whoever you like, say a name. Imagination is the only limit. Touch, feather light, notes immaculate, all grace, he spreads my fingers, splays them impossibly wide, flaunting what he's done with them. I feel a frisson of anticipation. What else did he have planned for me? I'll let him do it. Everything will be in its proper place. Our eyes close. Transcending my hard-won sheet music, he feels the patterns and intricacies of the song in his soul, totally fluent in its emotional language. Something stirs in him, in me, and that tremble there inside us. Being able to play is meaningful, being able to play this song, an unexpected second chance. What else might we have recovered here? The final lines flood from our mouths and hands. The chapel awash in desire and artificial starlight. We slough through the last bars of unaccompanied piano. The ghost concludes, it's over. Yeah, the chat, so a fun thing about seeing the other branch is now you can see how different Renfield's attitude can be. And yeah, it makes sense, like, again, coming from it from the trans perspective, someone offering you to, like, I can make you however you want to be. So you become, like, you know, it's like having a medical transition. So I get it entirely. But I think the difficulty here is the ghost hasn't asked. So that's why I feel like I'd always lean towards the original. Especially considering we got, like, the verbal caution from Kez to be like, hey, don't let him do that. So yeah, so it's really interesting, like, Renfield not quite... Like, I see the perspective and how that's softened due to what you're learning. But I also feel like, quite impulsively, I want to go down get the F out of my body, like, because of how this is going. But yeah, it was also nice to have this moment with the ghost. It's just a shame that it's come without the consent. So hopefully the ghost realises this and apologises, or we have some way that this is made better down this particular track. Unable to stop, he races and climbs from the dirge-like pace of Dracula up towards a triumphant march. Though I'm free to speak, his music carries me along. I lose track of what I wanted to say, thundering, pounding, commanding the keys for what must be minutes until he's satisfied. His spirit detaches from me without ceremony. I barely catch myself, all my muscles disengage with him and almost drop me on the floor. Impressive reflexes. We did it. I didn't do anything, per your request. What was that at the end? Liszt's rearrangement. I know it by heart. I was a victim of Lisztomania. Sounds serious. Almost as bad as what Dracula did to me. Sherbert is for sorrow. And a series of clicks play along on the keyboard. Liszt is for triumph. The 10 eternal keys rise from their place, like levels reaching for the sun. I touch the nearest key. A dry rustle comes from underneath. Try pulling it. I suddenly don't want to. I have to. This is what we came for. What are we going to find? I pull. It takes as much effort as loosely rooted weed. The wire snaps free from the internal mechanisms and the key tugs out. On the underside of the key is a descented stick with a pinkish strand dangling from the end. I set it aside on the bench. There were 5 grouped on the left and 5 on the right. It's his hands, his fingers. I left through the rest of the left group. For the right, I placed my hand underneath, a finger below each, and find the tips of the sticks. When we make the contact, they curl inwards and catch towards me. All 5 come along together. I shuck the sticks from the keys, 10 total. The ghost's withered fingers are dead mirrors to what he's made of mine. Oh. Oh. So we've unlocked this of like we're a perfect match, as if I feel like that should be the one we vote for. But then it's also bold to be like, why did Dracula do this? But I feel like the scene has earned we're a perfect match. Like they're both, their hands are both not what they were once. So let's do we're a perfect match. We belong together. God. Since his fingers aren't attached, I tie the tendons and knots to sets of 5, like a pair of cat-o'-nine whips. The set goes in my jacket pockets. They're bulky and discreet, but not imminently visible. What would you have done without me? I can't imagine. Where will you put our ever-mounting hoard? My suitcase has a lock. Locks are fragile. I'm sorry, that's all I've got. Never mind. Rejoice! We're halfway to completion. Halfway? Here I was worried we'd be pulling individual ribs from the cliffside. No, he was quite selective, nothing that didn't seem important or poignant. Each piece we clear from the board clarifies my view of what's left. Tomorrow, the gallery. Come armed. Shouldn't we do as much as possible tonight? I'd love to, but I'm afraid you're out of time. Miss Popescu. If you can rearrange my fingers, you can heal my leg. Fix me, then we can forget about her and it's not her who's coming. Get away from the piano. Hurry. Heavy footsteps from the hall. Someone thudding closer. I hobbled desperately over to the display of candles on the opposite side of the altar. Their colour shifts from blue to a dull yellow. I slump into a contemplative pose as an angry red figure fills the entrance. Master Renfield. Prince Dracula. Despite being somewhat prepared for his arrival, the overwhelming presence he wields forces me back a step. In the chapel. Curious. Trotting between the pews, he arrives at my side, admiring the decorations. The candles continue to dim in his presence. English churches don't look like this. England has a new faith. Ours is old. Romania's, not mine. I no longer abide. These decorations, all their glamour and expense, are meant for an unearthly display of the might of God. Pathetic. A deity that relies on such pettiness proves its own inadequacy. Our Lord is unafraid to speak through scored cities and spilt blood. When I interrupted the family, when I discovered their vampires, was that a religious ritual? Who is your Lord? The candles suffocate. Their smouldering wicks are all that's left to see by. Daradot, Lord of Dominance. A devil worshipper who commits human sacrifice. In this castle, every crime a faith could be accused of happens in earnest. Things my grandfather and father and I withstood baseless accusations of. We have wandered through the years and centuries and millennia throughout history, depossessed and hounded for no reason except plain bigotry. Here Dracula sits eternal on his throne in abject guilt, unbothered. Real power, otherworldly or otherwise, is never to be having to be held accountable. I hear your heart thrashing in its cage. Patience. Is this anger born of jealousy or righteous indignation? There will be a reckoning. After all, it is rare in this idle era for any god to lay hands upon the world as ours does. Today, endure. What does it matter? Your anger is immaterial. Instead, let's interrogate your being here. He extends an arm around my shoulder and begins to walk across the room towards the piano. I'm startled out of my rage. Why are we? The songbook is out on the stand. I agree the decorations are worth a look, but that isn't why you came. A beautiful performance, if I may. Why try to hide it? Because I'm an amateur. It's embarrassing to have someone eavesdrop on practice. Nonsense. Give yourself credit. That was a lovely rendition of... He looks at me wickedly. Pardon. I've forgotten the name. What was it called? There's no answer worse than not answering. Think, Roger, think. And it's the bottom one. It's Winter Nerez. Let's go. So it was. You availed yourself of the castle library. Cesara keeps it tidy, doesn't she? Did she help, or did you find the book yourself? Oh. I only remember, good memory. It's only because we saw it quite a few times, and I was like, the other two don't look quite right. And I've had to try and say it a few times. All on my own, it was well kept. I feel like he would know I'm lying. But if it was a joint effort, I think he already suspects Kez is helping me. I think it was a joint effort makes the most sense. So I'm going to do it was a joint effort. How kind of her. We reach the piano. Dracula smiles at the book. We used to know a man who loved Winterese. In his absence, I find it too painful to listen to. Gazara should have known. She will need reminding. Oh dear. Collecting from the bench, he turns and removes us from the room. From the threshold of the bedroom, he throws me at the bed. I fall short and barely grab the edge. You can manage from here. The door clicks shut while I struggle to get my bearings. Holding myself from the bed, I splay out, staring at the canopy with unfocused eyes. Take the fingers from my pockets to confirm they're there. Clench the past remembrance of his hands in mine. Shiver with anticipation. Dracula knows about Kez. What kind of reminder would he send them? It was only a songbook. A songbook doesn't mean anything. I don't bother with pyjamas. I can't. The best I can do is remove any day clothes and lie in my underwear. He won't come when called. I have the fingers here, though, and there's a connection between him and his parts. Why won't you heal my ankle? I shouldn't expect a response. You've been generous. Why not give the gift that matters? There's no guarantee he's hearing this. Come on, please. Nothing. Continue on alone, like usual. I burrow beneath the covers. It's cold without full-length sleeves or pants. Instants from sleep, there's a voice, rising from dream to meet me like a wave crashing against the cliff as I plummet into the ocean below. Kez got caught intervening. I prefer to stay undetected for now. We can while away a few hours together though, somewhere private. Wait! We plunge in. Neither of us have any control where. We break the turquoise service and land in a golden plaza. Across the skyline are thousands of pale sandstone buildings, sporadically skirted in wooden scaffolding. People hurry in vivid clothes, proving in an instant why England has a reputation for being grey. This city is crimson, teal, fuchsia, sunset umbers, layered rainbows. I am a boy with a paper bag of hazelnuts scrunched in hand. The crowd is taller than me. They part to let me through, but not for my benefit. My tunic is dark, though I'm brightly burnt where it shone skin, and I have a few accessories to add another colour, a gaunt figure in morphle black. The alienation hurts worse than the loss. Who have I lost? I eat my snack and drift around the market. The baker in the corner is surprised to see me by myself. Where's the rest of the class? Once he's sorted over the solitude and what I'm wearing, he offers apology bread. Is that how I got the hazelnuts too? The market thins out into a half-constructed residential district. I live in the opposite direction near the new palace at the dormitory. We aren't allowed past the market until later in our education, when we have a stronger command of the language, when we can blend in. I am a special case. The Sultan likes my uncle more than he dislikes me. Today is an unusual day. Along an empty alley, I balance on an uneven brick fence line, wobbling forward toe to heel, bread hung from my mouth. He's gone. He was always gone. What difference does it make how he's gone when that's just what he is to me? Everyone else says it different. Without realising, I've come to stop at the highest point of the fence. The last bite of the roll reveals a sharp drop behind my empty fingers. Guess I'll have to turn back. The alley forms a wind tunnel. The draft picks up at the hems of my wide trousers and loose tunic. It's mid-afternoon. The sun has dropped behind the damaged administrative blocks to the west. Rotted roof beams throw their shadows around me. I shuffle about, face on the fence, just as I raise my rear foot to resume walking. Something catches my trousers, billowing away from my ankle. I gasp and tether on my leading foot. Cautiously worried how I'll stay balanced, I look over my shoulder to see who's caught me. The shadows. It's the shadows. Darkness taken form, 5 fingers that stretch further the brighter the light they reach to. In intimate terror, I jolt along the fence. It tears a strip of fabric from myself. I don't care. I carry on. When I'm on the flat ground, I let myself check again. Maybe it was nothing but loose boards and an overactive imagination. The shadow uses both, two now. Arms supply the rest of its umbral body from the fence. Patchy and skeletal, it looks like a vulture, assessing whether I'm fit to pick apart. Run. Obviously, I have to run. Eyes back, I run forward, colliding with someone else. Ah! How do you keep getting in here? A man with hands and temperature of ice seizes me by the wrist. No, no, no. Roger, snap out of it. Stop. Come on, man, this is embarrassing. Get a hold of yourself. Huh? That's right. These aren't my dreams or my memories. I am Roger. When I look around, there's no one on the fence, and I'm the ghost's height, more or less. Renfield. Where are we? Finally. Welcome to Constantinople, city of my youth, city of his. Are these your dreams? This all started because I thought I'd share my formative memories of Dracula. It seems so that they have tapped into this particular vein where there's no way to limit what spills out. Nobody's ever projected myself this far into my mind, likely because no one else has slept this close to me. Were the fingers a comfort? I was you. Age 9. Recently enrolled in Enderon, the first step on my path to becoming a janissary. There weren't many of us in the young capital. Those of us that stayed here were special. It was done as a favour. For your uncle, in bed with the Sultan, literally, an exception to any law that might obstruct his ascent, and I, holding in onto him for dear life, flew in the face of it all too. Except, Where Uncle was a blessing upon them, I became a curse. A failed commander, the ruin of their campaign, ultimately their enemy. Not just a salesman. Swordsman, sellsword, salesman, it all flows together in the end. When was this, Ghost? There's a familiar look in his eyes. He's contemplating whether he can get away with lying. He's told too many half-truths and dodged too many questions. This dream is a corner he's backed himself into. This is 1462, present in the 15th century and the 19th century, haunting us to this day. How much of that is he alive for? No. Ordinary victim. What are you? There's nowhere to flee. Ha! Flight or fight. A monster like the rest of them. Lightning strikes the world. It burst apart in a million shards of ice. For a moment we're suspended in the void. The ice falls first, melts and collects in the black sea beneath us. I reach for him. He dodges my hand. Without his support I fall too, plunge back into reality. We hope you enjoyed this taste of Dracula SD. Thank you for playing. It helps us out if you want to wish list the game on Steam. And we have an upcoming Kickstarter campaign. Yay! Very cool. Oh, it looks different now. That's awesome. Okay. Yes, the text is old. Okay, so I've... Well, that's good. I'm glad, once again, I've been able to help the creators. Amazing. Okay, so I've seen how happens if I die. We've seen what happens if I support Ghost. I don't know if I have it in me to see one about Dracula. However, my understanding is that now that I've done a playthrough, I can potentially get some of the Jonathan stuff, but I don't know if that's in the demo yet. I think that's something for when the whole game is out. So yeah, that's something that, because I am a big Jonathan Harker stan, if you didn't know. So wait, can I get Jonathan now if I start? Because I kind of want to see Jonathan Harker because he's my boy. Interesting. Woohoo! There's a lot of temptation. Ends up in the Jonathan Harker route. We have a bit for all 4 routes. It's just Dracula and Ghost have the longest paths. Ooh, okay. Right, okay, what I might do... I'm going to have a very quick 10-minute break where I'm just going to go grab a drink, and then I'm going to see... I might do a little bit of skipping, but I really want to see if I can see the Johnny's point of view. So, yeah. Cool. Thank you. So, Fine Feather friends who've been joining us today, thank you so much. But yes, I'm going to be back in 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have a little go on the Jonathan track. So, and I'm really, really happy that I've been able to stream any of this game for anybody. But yes. Cool. We'll be back in a second. So I'm just going to make sure I can do this on my OBS. So we'll see you very, very soon. Hello, I am back. Yes. If you just joined, or you're surprised that I'm back again, because it's been 2 hours since we started playing. I'm going to give the Jonathan track a go. I'm just going to have a quick Google to see. One sec. So I want to make sure that we definitely do the Jonathan track. Hopefully it's easy to do. Well, Google's giving me nothing. Let's just go for it. Let's go. So when you start doing it, skip to new possibilities. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start. Option to skip to new possibilities. Back to the castle we go. Hello again, Renfield. Prince Dracula. So Dracula has been hospitable, his domain has been less so. Ghosts haunt the halls of his oversized tomb, alongside other naval creatures, men made of smoke and ash. My host wears are nothing but bad dreams. And yet it's true, I have a history of waking nightmares. I've lost good years in the sanitarium. But since when do nightmares leave handprints? No amount of charm and liquor can fully convince me the monsters aren't there. The more Dracula plies me with them, the less I trust him too. Okay. Who can I rely on in this terrible place? Okay, so we're going to skip to new possibilities. Let's go. Alone in my room, I watch the sky settle on its darkest shade for the night, a black like underside of thick Arctic sea ice. Theodora brings dinner, risaka with additional vegetables on the side is perfect, moist yet firm. Half an hour later, Miss Propescue arrives to collect the plate and return for a tea tray. Evening. Staying put like you're told. Of course. No sense being somewhere I'm not wanted. Think I'll write a letter to the office, get ready for bed and pick a book from my trunk. Stronger than you look to carry books around. Ha, no, they're soft Tratanese editions. Easiest way to buy English books in Germany, and they're light. She shakes her head dismally. Enjoy your soft book. Thank you. When you put it like that, it sounds a bit... She closed the door with a solid thunk. Silly. That's that then. I drink the tea, a type of chamomile, and eat a shockingly dry square of millefeuille. Moving the dishes to the far corner of the desk, I get my writing set out and try my hand at writing a letter to Jonathan. It should be the easiest thing in the world to do. Okay, so shall we vote for yes, it's impossibly hard, or 2, it's hard but it's important, I can't give up? What do we want to do? I feel like we've unlocked it's hard but it's important, I can't give up. Also, apologies if you can hear my cat. He's decided that the zoomies are the most important thing right now. We've got a vote for 2 in the chat. I'm happy for 2 in the chat. So let's go with it's hard but it's important, I can't give up. If I can't tell him how I feel, I can at least tell him the factual reality of my situation. There's danger in the castle. I seem to be in danger, which somebody needs to hear about. Cares means well, but I don't know how much help there'll be if I'm backed into a corner. Dracula is their husband. They are sworn to him. Not everyone is willing to break a vow when push comes to shove. All right. Don't worry about the world outside. Ah, that's interesting. At this point, if you'd picked 1, you'd be on the Cares route. Interesting. Focus on what's happening here. Dear Jonathan, I've arrived in Romania and met with our client. I pray this letter finds you well, for you may never see me again. The residents of Castle Dracula have given me reason to believe I am in danger. Though I have found no hard evidence of wrongdoing, Dracula's family have voiced grave concern for my safety. You know I have dealt with bad clients before, people who'd wish harm on me, that I can handle myself in these situations. This is different somehow. Please trust my instincts and send me help. I'll have this letter sent in secret. If I haven't called within 10 days of its writing, alert the authorities. With any luck, speak soon. There's so much we've left unsaid. It can't end like this. Eternally yours, Roger M. Renfield. Oh my god! 16th of February, 1931. There. It's done. Folding the letter and dressing the envelope, I feel a last pang of self-consciousness. It is pathetic of me to ask for help. If Jonathan were here in my place, he wouldn't need any. This is just embarrassing as talking about my feelings would have been. I leave the letter and the envelope on the desk, think about it overnight, decide whether to send it in the morning. Ugh. Defeated by my insecurities, I resign myself to reading a book instead. The latest Jeeves collection, fresh from the station bookstore, a warm story for a chilly Transylvania. As I turn from the desk to reach for my suitcase, there's a shape that shouldn't be there. My hand clutches protectively at my throat. The monster from the first night shifts and cracks, cross-legged on the covers. As he adjusts his posture, his legs have soot marks on a pale linen. This is a vivid delusion, just a delusion, that's all. The castle's been scared the wits out of me. Get out, you're not real. Like carbon refining to diamond, the blurry dark mess of his jaws sharpened into bright white teeth. Not real? Says who? He unfolds his leg, wiping soot everywhere, and springs to his bird-like toes. All of 7 feet tall, looming. Dracula. Dracula said so. The monster prowls closer until he's near enough to make my chest tighten and my throat catch, remembering our last encounter. I grope across the desk for something sharp. Not that I need it. This is a delusion. The fountain pen is all I've got to already sweaty hand. No sooner have I raised it than he clutches the butt of the pen. It slides from my treacherously slick palm. He twirls it between his fingers, right in my face. What else has Dracula said? The monster's voice is a smoky rumble like an approaching train. Not to go downstairs tonight. Gonna listen to him, little lawyer? We watch each other intently. Ah! Okay. Do we want to go downstairs and see what he's up to, or do we want to read in peace? One or two. One or two. What are we thinking? Okay. Is this... Does this lead to us seeing the woman being eaten, or does this lead to us just dying? Like, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Because I don't understand the tracks. I'm just going on vibes, which is why I died so quickly earlier. Two. Oh yeah. Let's read in peace. Where's that book? I push past him out of my chair towards the suitcase. Sorry, that was a rhetorical question. Before I can move clear, he hooks an arm around my waist. Leaning forward, he levers me into his shoulder, my legs draped over his chest while my arms dangle against his back. He's getting soot all over my suits. This is disrespectful. Kidnapper! Drop me! I'm fire engine red in this fireman's hold. Not yet. Time for a walk. Kicking the door open, he takes me out to the stairs and begins our descent towards the castle proper. Despite his bulk, his unusual legs provide effective shock absorption, and he barely jostles me as we proceed down. For the first few minutes, I drum my fist on his nearest shoulder blade, offer some protest, show some spine. His spine is taut with... It's not muscle, Just a Greek statue isn't muscle. The sculpted illusion of muscle, carved from charcoal. Charcoal. Gosh. I don't relax, but I realise it's senseless. Trying to escape, I stop struggling. This is a threat I'll have to live with. In the corridor, he accelerates. He didn't let on, but he must have been afraid of tripping on the stairs. A safety-conscious Sonic kidnapper? Excellent. A level below is quiet. That is unusual per se. The upper floors were quiet too. What troubles me is the fact it's late enough that the party should have started. Dracula's folk dance, cult ceremony, mechanical wine tasting, whatever, should generate some sort of noise, surely, if not voices, music, or stomping feet and slamming doors. Near a window that faces the courtyard, the monster pauses, pointing out with the pen. I squint through the glass. The courtyard is dimly lit by caravan lamps. Dozens of figures come and go from their vehicles to their rooms in the gatehouse. The only people who could be inside are Dracula and the brides and just one or two visitors. That wouldn't be much of a party. What are they really doing tonight? When we arrive, stay out of sight. Hold on. Shh. We continue. The front door is closed. The great hall is open. The chandelier casts a beam of light through the double doors. We skirt around the edges, keeping to the shadows, both of us blending in easily. Over the opposite side of the foyer, we finally hear voices. Let him out of your sight. Doors are secure. Unless he leaps, he will be in the castle. Your own fault for stupid plan of separating them. Now. I don't trust either of you to have self-control to find him. Propescue, take care of it. Heavy footsteps thud towards the foyer. Before I can panic about whether I will get caught, the monster slips into the great hall. Once we're through, he presses the door shut behind us. We saunter to the edge, pen chittering around in his fingertips, and stop at the main banquet table. In a great turbulent motion, he tips me from his shoulder onto the tabletop. Was that so bad? He scans my all still glowing face. I look at the tiles to avoid him, but the redness is obvious at my angle. Didn't think so. Bending over, he offers the pen back. There's no change in his expression. It's impossible to tell whether he's a trickster grin or an earnest smile. Thank you. Oops. He drops the pen deliberately. With a gentle clickety-clack, it rolls out of sight, a last gasping snack, indicating it's hit a table leg. Why? Shh. Lifting the tablecloth where I'm sitting, he gestures for me to hide. I grumble and obey. The monster adjusts the bench so I can duck through. Muttering complaints at him, I clamber past. When I'm there, pen in hand, he shoves the bench back into place, sealing me inside. I can get out, but there'll be a good bit of effort and noise involved. And since I can hear the doors reopening, now's not the time. The monster strolls across the yard to meet the new arrivals. As he goes, the darkness strips from his ankles, revealing pale human skin. The body underneath the charcoal capace is smaller, despite the tall stiletto heels on their feet. There's a whoosh as a sweep of red silk falls into place around their legs and trails behind them in great crimson train. Hey, where have you been? Around. Didn't happen to see our missing guest anywhere. Who's missing? Who does it look like? Ah, I'm afraid your brother has made a liar of me, poor child. It seems he won't be here to say goodbye. Dracula scoops the girl from the floor. Holding her in his arm, he presses a reassuring kiss to her scalp. Then, in spite of her whimpers of protest, he thuds her onto the table above me. My heart startles into overdrive. The three brides drift closer. Kez, with that distinctive red hem, slides near where I'm hidden and kicks some skirt over my outer arm and leg. Teodora and Leilana lean on the other side of Dracula. He presses over the half-conscious girl like a book of scripture. The brides lightly restrain her hands and feet while he, along her upper body, draws a small knife from his pocket. In order not to panic, I clamp my hands over my mouth. The cap of the pen strikes my glasses. What was that? Heel got stuck. It's because of those ridiculous shoe. Hush! It's not clear whether he's addressing the brides or the girl. The last of her strength ripples out in wet sobs that shake the whole table. I get jostled by the leg, but I refrain from reacting. Extending his arm, Dracula sinks his blade into the shallows of her skin. Her sobs turn to shrieks. His hand moves steadily, scarifying a design into her chest. Lord, let her regret her hubris and reward mine. Let her be the fuel to burn to further our ambition. We place another body on the mountain of corpses. We climb a step closer towards your glorious flame. Lord Daradot, she is yours, for we are yours. There's a moment of stillness as he raises the blade. The girl gasps in horrified anticipation. The knife cuts through the pores, through her throat. The frenzy begins. Dracula pulls her into his arms, her legs flopping over the edge of the table in front of me, and opens his jaws wide to latch them around her neck. He sucks at the wound like a starved man in the desert. Suddenly the brides snap into position, taking whatever patches of bare skin they can find, or clearing fabric away in order to have their share. Even Ked, lucid and scheming just a few minutes ago, gnaws at the girl with absent shark-like eyes. I take a stiletto to the elbow. If I had an ally here before, I don't now. None of these creatures can be trusted not to kill me. I've got to get out of here. Flipping on my front when everyone's clear of the table, I start to crawl along underneath. The quartet are lost in what they're doing. Clicks and cracks come from the girl's limbs. They contort her for the best access to her veins. I don't worry much about bumping into furniture. If they didn't notice an arm breaking, they won't notice the bench move. While I hustle along like a cockroach caught in the kitchen, images carousel through my mind of Theodora, a model housewife, ripping apart the tendons of girls' wrists with her teeth, of Ilana, normally stoic, now snarling as she's bitten to a prime artery, of Kez, flexing the girl's knee until it snaps. Dracula, though, maintains his calm and his position at the throat, drinking deep uninterrupted, naturally entitled to the greatest share. At the end of the banquet table, near the exits, there's nothing between me and the door but the threat of being seen. I glance back. The bride's still in their fugitive state. The Dracula is harder to read. Nudging the bench aside, I stumble onto 2 feet and into the open. Not far. It's not far. I can cross the gap. They'll never notice. They won't even know I've been here. And where might you be going? No. He stands in the middle of the cluster, the girl's body slumped in his arms. The brides flank him, clutching a shoulder or a thigh each. Theodora isn't distracted. Kez adjusts the shoulder to hide behind it. And I spits as she makes eye contact. Fear locks me in place. Even though he spoke before, Dracula isn't fully composed yet, like a dog caught with a chicken from the coop. He blinks slowly, his pupils struggling to focus. His goatee is dried, solid red with her blood. There's a moment of wordless trembling before he's able to speak again. I don't know why you're here, or how you snuck in, but this doesn't have to concern you. Return to your room and forget what you've seen. Let it be nothing but a nightmare. Why? Why do this? Because the house has needs, and the master must provide. Releasing his grip on the girl's torso, he drops her into the bride's arms, where they're able to bite and gnaw even more ferociously. He might be sated, but they remain hungry, unable to stop until the well runs dry. Dracula realizes he won't have my attention while the body and the brides are in view. Rather than step around them, he dissipates into pitch black smoke and surges through the group, coalescing in front of me. For a moment after he reforms, his eyes have that awful hollow look again, and his features are contorted. He extends a hand to me. Not to worry. Your fate will be different. Clear it out. What a disaster. Put it where? Doesn't matter. Sell it if you like. If he brought anything worthwhile. A scratch briefcase, a new empty jar of ink, a selection of ugly ties. Why did I ever think he was worth our time? The moment we learnt his superiors had pawned us off, we should have written a letter of complaint. Dear Jonathan. To be burnt? No, Nicoletta. Our summons were ignored. Too comfy in the Isles to come out east. What right has a foreign prince to his attention? I think, however, he will come, if called by one of his own. Mr. Harker won't dare ignore us now. Ah! I bid him goodbye with a firm handshake. Whatever we had before, it's over, and this is what we are now. He takes the ferry. I exit the terminal. Done. Half swimming through the torrential downpour, I launch myself into the car, bringing a splash of the elements into the driver's seat with me. Just as I've got the engine started, I realise the boat might not leave the docks in this weather. The road cools, but I idle in the car park and do my due diligence. Though the sound of the machinery is completely drowned out, the vibrations travel through the seat, letting me know she's ready to go whenever I am. I rest my head to the centre of the steering wheel. Just us here, beautiful, and you're still my girl, warm to the touch, no trouble to look after, we'll get by together. Wouldn't know how to hold a man, can't be sad I let him go, don't think either of us wanted that. You'll find a pretty wife in Germany, I'll do the same here. Move on. Not a break in the rain, but a reduction reveals that the boat left the dock some time in the last few sodden minutes. The most pitiful stern lights I've ever seen splutter at me from the channel. Like a dazzled extra who missed their cue, I make a hasty exit, stage left. Onto the A33 towards home. London bound, where I belong. Jonathan, no! The trouble with the car is she's so stunning it's impossible not to notice her coming. A silver ghost and namesake silver, but she glistens like mercury as she glides along the wet London streets, attracting many eyes, in particular the eyes of my newly, insistently close friends, Lucy Wessendra and Lord Arthur Godalming! Yes! There are a lot to handle on the best of days. Here's me who spent the early hours in the morning to and fro across the south of England with a steady headache in a dull damp wool suit. Parking across the nearest corner, I take a breath and plan how to get by. Right. Steel yourself. They're not even your friends, so it doesn't matter what they think. Oh, I have a lot of feelings, guys. Collar up. Shoulders hunched. I slump out of the car. Lucy comes at me harder than the rain. We waited all night. Where were you both? Wait, where is she, Jonathan? I continue along and into Arthur. Have your private evening by all means. Enjoy each other's company. But God's sake, tell the who... Evade him too. Neither of them are used to being ignored. They lose seconds, stunned like aimless jellyfish under their umbrellas. When they realise they're being avoided, they try to chase, but I'm already around the corner. John, what? Come on, man! Where is she? At the doorstep. Haven't you embarrassed us enough? Unlocking it. Where is Mina? Over the threshold. Slamming it closed as Arthur's frantic fists meet the other side, I skid wetly along the polished stone floor. At the main desk, Mr. Builder, the building manager, takes indiscreet glances from his half-sorted pile of mail. Keep them out, would you? Depends on how much he wants to pay. Got 25 quid from me on Monday. Reckon he'll do twice that. I won't expect to have the pipes fixed. Your loss if the floor rots. Ha! Get your lift, Harker. I've got the door. Arthur resumes knocking, distracting Mr. Builder as I proceed right past the lift to the stairs. What kind of fit, young up-and-comer refuses to take the lift? Well, the 6 or 7 attendants who've seen me panic in them are bad enough. I don't want any more witnesses. Something about the noise, something about the movement, something... I'm fit and young and capable of climbing, and the exercise does me good anyway. Why shouldn't I take the stairs? It's totally normal behaviour. The rain conceals the sweat as it forms across my skin. Everything intermingles. Water is water. I stumble into my dark apartment where the curtains remain drawn, though there's not much sun behind them either. There are several floors and a number of heavy doors between Lucy and Arthur and I. I can relax, right? The whole apartment is 3 rooms. I take off my shoes at the living room entrance, throw my sodden jacket and waistcoat over the towel rail in the bathroom, and abandon my shirt and trousers on a side chair in the bedroom. £25 a month for a single bedroom, London. What a charmer. Shouldn't have made Roger sleep on the sofa. Where else would I have put him? This whole fake wedding. Plan was, Leiter's father, say we'd like to marry and that he'd be pretty pleased let me have his daughter's hand and power of attorney. I'd spare her a lifetime of the sanitarium. Everyone was worried sick about Dr. Seward's questionable treatments. Nobody wanted to leave Roger there, except he couldn't be set free either, not when he'd been cured of his delusions of manhood. I was the key to freedom without freedom, someone who'd tolerate his wild ideas about himself but keep him clear of society at large. For his safety and his father's peace of mind, horrible things might happen otherwise, assaults or arrests, or any of the million bad fates that befall queer folk. Given Roger's experiences at City of London Mental Hospital, they get to be particular about people using their new name. It's likely he would have accepted a tiny, gloomy £25 a month gilded cage. 10 times the space of his cell, sociable company, real food and clothes, and nary a condenser couch in sight. Except, that's no way to live, is it? No way for him to live. He's not meant to be a vestible thing tacked on to somebody else. He's too himself for that. Which is why I took him in the hand, thanked his keepers for their trust, and let him go. Now I'm standing here alone in an apartment built for one, and since none of the people who kidnapped him and held him hostage these last years see him as a lucid adult man responsible for his own choices, a whole lot of blame is about to land on me. My parents and his mother, Miss Renfield, knew what we had planned. Nobody else. Lucy and Arthur are just the first of his friends who'd be mad about this. Dr. Seward will at least have an angry telegram. Mr. Murray is who I feel guiltiest about. It would be so satisfying to meet rage with rage, shout, yell, scream back at him when the call comes of course he left after how he was treated. Mr. Murray trusted me to do the right thing. I've done it. The question of how to treat his child with love, care and compassion had an answer he wouldn't like. From now on, we'll stand on opposite sides of the great divide. When just a week ago he trusted me enough to give me his blessing, legal power over his last of a living heir, and the most expensive gift I've ever received. Here I am, by myself, in a bedroom of my apartment, in my underwear, as my clothes drip dry on a rack. I have a spare set nearby, but can't possibly wear it. It's not meant for me, not in this life. Nevertheless, I open the wardrobe to stare at my ill-gotten gains. A personally tailored tuxedo courtesy of Mr. Murray's own workshop. The company doesn't even do bespoke, they're ready to wear only. I was an exception. Designer got pulled from their upcoming line to create me a one-off piece for me. Silk waistcoat, ivory bow, wing collar and peak label. It's not my style. In fact, if it didn't intend to turn it to Mr. Murray, I'd offer it to Roger. He mentioned liking dark suits. There's a single concession to my tastes. A lone indication either of us were seen as people and not stock concepts. The smart, unstable daughter and her daring, high-climbing suitor. A sunflower bontonniere. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Those are my colours. That is who I am. Reaching ever upward towards the sun. I unpin it from the lapel, sorry. The suit, I've got to return that. It's an important show of good faith. The first step in a long journey to winning Mr. Murray over. This is a small enough he shouldn't notice or care if I keep it. I want to remember what Roger and I came so close to doing. How close we were for a moment. Until we came apart. Until we're together again, somewhere. My hand is closed tight over the boutonniere. The truck rattles out of my control, around and around and around the endless mountains of Romania. Once, during Stonehouse visiting hours, Dr. Seward and I had a conversation where he waited for Roger to be brought out. I don't put much stock in his profession, but in search of a topic, I asked him what his recommendations were for neurasthenia, to which he told me, Mr. Harker, if you've a sickness of the mind, I've a voltage for it. Around and around and around the trunk goes. Its engine shudders and cringes at the terrain. It rocks to and fro on its axles from turn to turn. There are 3 of us in the cab, and I'm furthest from the wheel, pressed against the right door. I want to reach out and grab the wheel, but it's too far, so I hold on to the button here. Besides, there are obstacles in the way. I can't do much of just a fortnight. If she can play by the end of it, it's fine. Music takes practice. Such a condensed course can never build the muscle memory required for a long-term success. The princess cannot travel. The prince cannot pay forever. 2 weeks. A job is a job. Both of them had better have the right expectations. The passenger turns my way, pushing me further against the door. What about him? What are you doing here? I'm a lawyer. Isn't that the sort of thing that can be done at a remove? Why bother with the trip? High-end clients get high-effort service. She doesn't need to know what happened to Renfield. Even I don't know. Criminal, immigration, property? Hush. Confidential. I think it's more incriminating not to specify, but if his right-hand woman prefers to keep it quiet, I won't mention the sale. Mysterious legal aid from the East, piano instruction from Yugoslavia. The prince has an unusual menagerie, doesn't he? England. Actually, I'm English. Oh. Just like that, the enigma is gone. Miss Poppercue looks angry I said even that much. The passenger shuffles so she's facing forward again. Uncomfortable as it was, the conversation was a welcome distraction from the road, and my focus returns to the eerie sensations around me. Rattle, rattle, clunk, clunk, wobble, wobble, shunk, shunk. Around and around and around. Cliffs turn to castle. Almost there. Shifting forward in her seat, Miss Popescu glances past the passenger at me. How much were you told about your friend? You know what happened to him? No details. We approach a terrifying wooden bridge. Nothing but a few planks stretch over a ravine. Between us, the passenger's eyes flick side to side, though she doesn't interrupt, smartly realising Miss Popescu might stop together if she did. All I got was a sealed letter, together with a note saying he was missing. The letter warned the prince was a threat. The note said Roger had lost his mind and fled the castle. I was asked to refund his fees or come in his place. Our speed lowers as we cross the bridge to the courtyard on the other side, to make sure we don't slam into the opposite wall. Even a large courtyard can only be so big. Good luck with your search. I haven't told her, but she knows. It's the only good reason not to send the money instead. I'm here to save his life all over again. Can't do this, guys. Can't. Ow. We park alongside an old-fashioned stable in a space with just the right size. I return the boutonniere to my lapel. Miss Clara with me. Should I wait? The prince will come. Some people have all the luck. Legs numb, we stumble from the cab. Miss Popescu takes her passenger supplies from the trunk bed. The pair amble inside via the nearest entrance, the staff assessed by the stable. Since there's no one else in sight, I shuffle along to collect my own luggage. A hand latches onto my shoulder. Another lashes past my chest to take hold of my suitcase before me. Huh? Allow me. I startle backwards into my new arrival, sliding their grip from my shoulders to my wrist. They pirouette me around to face them. Careful, we're on even ground. It's a man in his early 40s. His hair's gone almost completely white, but he's put immense effort into retaining his doll-like skin and perfect parallel teeth. Immense wealth, a princely son. This is Dracula. What a shame it's taken so long to make your acquaintance, Mr. Harker. Lowering his hands until they're at eye level, pausing and thinking better of something, he releases me. I tuck both hands into my pockets. He has backed me against the truck. Longer trip than I expected. The journey takes what it takes. No, I meant your original sin. Sending a subordinate. Renfield. Wasn't I worth your personal attention? His shoe scrapes downwards along the sloped cobblestones until it comes to a stop between mine. Our knees bump together. There are military commanders who don't lead with this much force. He really is annoyed about Roger, wants me on the literal back foot. That's not happening. See, nobody ever passes their boss an easy job. I've had weeks to prepare for him. I step him and start towards the entrance, letting him take my bag just like he wanted. He whirls and powers after me. I can see Hawkins and Harker have insulted you, Prince, and for that I would like to express my sincere and heartfelt apologies. Our faith in Master Renfield was misplaced. If we could go back and start over, we would of course assign me to you. Secure a better outcome for everybody. Our reputation, your satisfaction, Roger's safety. Dracula is suddenly ahead and glowering. His safety is irrelevant. All that matters is what's been left unfinished. Sure. Once it is finished, though, may I stay an extra day and look for him? There is the castle, the ravine, the mountain tops. The family kind of checked everywhere. Provided the search comes after. We were thorough, and this has been 3 weeks. Don't expect a happy ending. It's far too late for that. He's irritated by how determined I am, not enough to say no. If he lets me conduct a personal investigation, it'll keep the authorities at bay. Whether or not I believe Roger's claims about him being a threat, this place has secrets it doesn't want known, buried somewhere Dracula assumes I can't or won't look for them. Long ago, the Murray Renfields trusted me with their child's life. If this search ends in his grave, at least I know how badly I failed them. Hold tight, Roger. I cross the threshold. Dracula closes the door behind me. No sooner have we stepped inside than he's fleeing across the room for the nearest exit. I start to follow. Someone intercepts me from the opposite side. Oh, hello. Hello, Percy. You want my tea? Jonathan Harker. We've been waiting. A short brunette latches onto my arm. While I'm distracted by her, 2 other figures materialise around me, closing from their prey on all sides like the free-toed talon of a bird of prey. What are you doing, cat? Sorry, I'm trying to play, but this monkey keeps trying to get in my way. Hello. Hello. Come on, you. A statuesque raven-haired beauty peers over my shoulder. So he came. A draggled blonde nudges my ribs. Bad decision. The brunette tugs me onwards. A giant pair of double doors are open at the end of the entrance hall. Beyond, a banquet table has been set with candlesticks and dinnerware. 2 dark, 1 fair, all in unison. They carry me to a chair. I'm seated left of the head. Brunette takes the right side, the blonde. Beside her, the raven beside me. Vlad will be here shortly, and Nicoletta with the food. While she sits, she takes a bottle of red wine from between us and starts to pour our drinks. Place a hand over my glass. None for me. Teetotaler? Just don't feel like it. We never had any at home and I spent university cleaning up after Roger. The only occasions I can be talked into drinking are weddings, funerals, and to celebrate being done with a particularly bad client. Maybe she asks at the end of this trip. Certain? She rolls her wrist, swirling the wine until it forms a whirlpool. Too pushy. Let him be. Dracula reappears empty-handed. Half the world prefers to abstain. We wouldn't want to look uncultured. Her eyes drop to the table. She returns the bottle and takes a seat. He stalks along the left side, my side, brushing the raven and I's backs. Finally, he slips into his chair. Layers of fabric and hair cascade around him, settle in sleek bands that accentuate his angular figure. Not to worry, Mr. Harker. Popescu will fetch a bottle of Scrata instead. Delicious. What is it? An elderflower drink. Thank you for your generosity. Yours, Miss Popescu's, and pardon, I didn't get their names. Oh, come on, girls. I'm Theodora, his first bride. Kez, second. The blonde chooses this moment to take a sip. A drink, down her entire glass, might wipe her mouth clean, slam it on the table, deliberately avoiding the placemat. A long silence passes before Dracula realizes she won't budge. Elena, my third and final. It ends with me. Before anyone can argue this point, Miss Popescu arrives with a trolley and the offloads 5 plates of grilled fish. Mine is served with a salad, nobody else's is. She whispers in her ear and sends her back out. Bon appetit. We begin. I'm too hungry to ask about the salad situation. The fish is perfect, flaky and soft, but the greens are wilted. The vinegar dressing helps hide that to an extent. Someone with a less refined palate might not notice. Clearly I spent too many nights and too much money drinking out in Soho. Dining at Soho. Aside from Miss Popescu's delivering Sakata and a series of requests for salt and water lettucing around the table, we eat in peace and quiet. Okay, pick an angle to work. Dracula didn't like being asked about Roger. Theodora is the most talkative of the three brides, but the pair of them are in lockstep, which means he won't talk about it either. Kez has kept those lovely lips unreadably quiet. Elena? Let's try Elena. Elena. When I look at her, she's pulling a bone from her teeth. That's an interesting... Shit. If I doubt to compliment a woman's clothes, but there's no way it'll seem sincere in her case. Pattern on your shirt. What is it? She extracts the bone and turns it between her fingertips. The stitches or the blood? You are full of blood, so I think you know what it is. Stitches are by me also. Good hobby to have. Happy to teach anyone if people stop being above it. The other brides avoid her as she points the bone at each in turn. I never learnt to sew myself, but Roger, Mr. Renfield, he was a dab hand. Did he mention his dad owns a clothing factory? He and his brother learnt a lot there as kids. He has not said anything. No, he didn't mention that, or any brothers. If only we had more chance to talk to him. Kez turns a pointed look towards Dracula. He fumes. What a privilege it is to learn the intricacies of Master Renfield's life, to gain appreciation for someone we failed to appreciate in the brief moments we knew him. However, given the stress of that evening when we lost him to the mountains, the terrible psychological toll it took on these delicate flowers, my precious and singular brides, I would also appreciate if you refrained from mentioning him at the table. He interrupted a dinner much like this, deluded, raving. He ruined everything before fleeing outside. The terror of those moments were only eclipsed by the horrific realization we'd lost our wayward guests, the wilderness. Please, let the memory of him fade from their tormented mind. Kez stands. Her exposed arms are taut with rage, cheeks red as her dress. She storms out from the room. This latest silence is dense, oppressive. See? Look what you made her do. Enough of that. Tell us about London. Theodora would love to know what's in store for her. We hear there's a theatre district. Yeah. Musicals, plays, opera, ballet. Take your pick. Ah, the opera. While he and Theodora share a smile and a brief daydream, Liana throws a fishbone at me. It falls short and lands in my scarter. As I look from the glass to ask her what the hell, she nods at the door. Kez lingers just out of sight, tucked behind the frame. When she's sure I've seen her, she mouths, "Let's talk," before disappearing. A lead, thank God. Tell me, Mr. Harker, what should we see first? Ha! Where to start? Where to start? The remaining two brides bring up the rear as Dracula leads us through the corridors to my room, or so he says. For the moment, there's no damning evidence he did anything to Roger, nor is there any proof they're telling the truth about Roger's escape. All I know is that I haven't seen him, whether he's been kept from me or left on his own accord. Until I have additional information, I should remain cautious, be polite but firm, only try Dracula's patience when there's a clear benefit, and exercise all my powers of observation. Worst comes to worst, I've got a knife in the suitcase, and I reckon the trunk's ignition isn't hard to figure out. There might not be enough gas to reach Bistris. Doesn't matter. We went through uphill for miles, so on a return journey, if the truck can reach the other end of the pass, it'll cruise to the bottom. Several days' walk from that point. Doable. None of these people could keep pace. Except for her, Kez. That's an athlete's build if I've ever seen one. Wonder what she's into. Mountaineering? Depends on stamina. Ah, but she's out of step with the rest of them. No sense worrying about her. If they give chase, she won't be leading the pack. It'll be him. It's always him. He won't let anyone else in front. Here it is. A modest bedroom at an end of an identical row. This wing could be part of a hotel. The middle room is closed, with light coming from under the door. That must be where the piano tutor went. The bathroom's just ahead. You'll be sharing with your neighbour. Fine by me. Miss Clara seems to be a consummate professional. Yes, you rode here together, didn't you? Of course. You'll receive special treatments in other regards. We'll leave Theodora and Alana on the other side of the door as we enter. My brides and I keep late hours. Popescu will bring breakfast, lunch around 8 and 12. Dinner will be our only formal meal. Let her know if she'd like any snacks. If you require anything, she's here to provide. Aside from that, the ground and first floors are yours to explore. Above are our private quarters. Below are cellars, stores and tombs, none of which are any of your business. All Renfield's legal instruments have been brought here. His personal effects are being held by us in case of his return. We suppose it would be helpful for him to have his wallet and a change of clothes if he ever intends to travel home to Germany. Shall we leave you for the night, Mr. Harker? There's no reason to keep him here. The room is acceptably furnished. A double bed, a desk and drawers and an upholstered chair, a small couch and a coffee table. Sleep, work, eat. My suitcase is on the bed and Roger's briefcase is on the desk. It's everything I could possibly need and not an iota more. Given how lavish the castle is, I feel like I'm being punished. This isn't how a man of Dracula's caliber treats someone he's happy to see. Roger's equipment was brought here. From where? If it was a different room in the hall, they could have just put me in it. This area is for staff. Let's assume he was an actual guest suites. I've been downgraded. Dracula eagerly awaited me. Once it might have been in genuine excitement, the excitement has curdled to spite. I'm necessary. He needs a lawyer like he always did, but his patience will only last until the job is over. I highly doubt he'll let me explore his property afterwards. That might be the least of my problems. Thank you for your hospitality, Prince. He smiles at generosity. Thank you again for being here. When he closes the door, I listen for the turn of the lock, but he's not quite that sadistic. For the time being, he does have limits. Later on, once I've brushed my teeth and requisitioned a bottle of water from Miss Popescu, there's an undeniable scraping sound from the outer wall of the room, like branches raking around in the wind. It's an extra wall which leads straight down to the tributary of the ravine. There shouldn't be any trees, since there isn't any ground nearby for them to grow from. The scrapes get louder and louder. It's also like a cat riding its claws to the bottom of a curtain, except deeper, harsher. The sound reaches the top of the window. It stops. I vault from the bed, grab the nearest hairy object, a bronze table lamp with a cord just the right length to reach the window. Raising it to the glass, it reveals nothing. The glow reflects back at me. I see my own exhausted face. Dark fingers just under the frame throw it upwards and open. I thrust the lamp at the exposed intruder. Kez blocks the bulb with her palm. Jesus, you're jumpy. Crouched with her heels flat on the sill, she balances without any aid from her hands. It'd be impressive whatever she's wearing, but she manages in stilettos with her dress hitched over her thighs. She pushes the bulb back. I stagger across the floor and almost yank the lamp cord from the socket. Hopping to the ground where she lands evenly on both feet, Kez slides the window closed behind her. Didn't I say we'd talk? Failed to mention it'd be via the window. Anyone so much as looks at the wrong corridor, Theodora is there to ask why, had to travel indirect. Okay, here I am with good news, bad news, and if you're keen, a bit of advice. I didn't expect her to be this forthcoming in any respect. I'll take whatever you've got. I can't tell you where he is, but I can tell you he isn't dead. Can't or won't. Literally can't. The details doesn't matter though, because his best chance of survival is you leave immediately. What? I know. Believe me, I know. It's important you're here though, because that's what we need is for you to take something along for the ride home. Reaching beneath her coat, she unclips a hidden object from around her waist. Once she extracts it, I can see she's brought a book. This is a legal document that can get the prince in a lot of trouble. Take it somewhere safe. Follow the instructions. Everyone goes free. That doesn't make any sense. If he's holding Roger hostage, the whole point would be to stop me intervening in whatever it is that's happening here. Putting 300 miles between us won't change anything, it'll just complicate it. There's something about this I don't understand. Who am I kidding? It's all a mystery to me. Murders, accusations, a property sale gone awry, infighting polygamists, and how does the piano tutor fit in? There has to be a connection I haven't noticed. Just tell me what it is I'm missing. Would if I thought you'd believe. That punches a hole in me. All the resolve I had rushes out of the most massive puncture in my ego. Dependable? I'm dependable. Why can't she see? Yes, rationally, we've just met. If the prince is involved in a ludicrous aristocratic criminal conspiracy, it might be hard to explain that to a layman, but I'm a lawyer, God's sakes, I know a thing about crime. I might not know them, or their culture, or what they're capable of, but I'm trustworthy. Give me a secret or a loan or car keys, I can handle anything on anyone's behalf. I deserve to know. I need to know. Tell me. Most people cave when I flash that look. Kez doesn't budge. No. It's that old show don't tell rule, Roger. Roger wouldn't listen to words. She meanders back to the window. How about this? Tonight, I think you'll have a dream. There'll be a man in it who you've never seen before. If he's not a man, it'll be a bunch of lights or a cold breeze. Whatever's there, it'll want help finding something. Refuse. Ignore it. Total dead end. Remember that I foretold it. Open your mind to strange possibilities. Psychics love to dole out vague predictions that you're likely to come true anyway. Statistically, there are men in most of my dreams. They're 50% of the dream population. Lights and breezes aren't rare either. None of this is convincing sign of precognition. Already skeptical, right? And you were going to cry about me not trusting you. Sheesh! She shoves the window open. Sweet dreams. Blowing a kiss, she topples out. A dark shape climbs back up several seconds later. When it reaches the top of the frame, it kicks the window closed. I fall on the bed with the lamp clutched to my chest. Roger is alive. Kez is confident of that. Does that mean he's in the castle? In an area Dracula told me not to visit? Wherever his mysterious room is, that's why I wasn't given his personal effects. He still needs them. That makes things simple. I find him and we run. If it's that simple, I want to do it now. I don't want to wait around for one of or both of us to die. Start running, keep running. My heart thunders in my chest. I scrape my fingers through the fabric of my waistcoat, part the buttons, scratch on my shirt, clench the layers in my fist. Try to reach the problem and bring it to heel. Not allowed to run. Dereliction of duty. This castle is too big to find Roger at random, especially if he's being subdued. Bide your time. Have some sense. Running too soon might be what will get what your nerves want. It'll only get you killed. Who knows what kind of minefield is beyond that door. Don't be overly cautious, but knowing your surroundings is the first step in any plan. I tense my entire body and release. Placing the lamp on the nightshade, I take a book Kez left and clutch that instead. German words shine on the cover. Who knows what they say? She's right. Most of this is over my head. Keep swimming. Reach the surface. It isn't far. You've got this, Jonathan. Lights bloom across my field of vision. There is a cold breeze, and there is a man. 3 for 3. Doesn't mean anything. A bright autumn morning sticks its fingers through the gaps of a tent that can't keep out the elements. Across from me on the other side of the low table, a frail teenager stirs from a pile of cushions. He lowers the seat position. I wave at him. He doesn't acknowledge me. Instead, his focus is on a jug on the table. Snatching it up he pours water into his mouth and over his face. Those dull brown eyes that refuse to meet mine also dodge each intrusive pang of daylight, hung over. Since he's awash, I wonder the tent. It's got all those gaps because the frame is too large for the fabric. They prioritise spaciousness over weather-facedness. Ah well, winter isn't here yet. In a few weeks they might reconsider. There are weapons and pieces of armour, half arranged on racks and shelves, not the modern kind, old curved swords and individually blacksmith-beaten helmets. Rehydrated, the man notices something amiss outside. His eyes finally focus. When he walks through the front flap, I follow. I've been here. This is Pankevo Forest near Transmovia. There's no sign of a city nearby. I'm surrounded by trees and the ambience of the River Timis. The landscape is unmistakable from those alone. We came through after the war. He came for battle too. The scene before us wasn't a battle. 1,000 men just from the marshy clearings on stakes, caught at rest and slaughtered in their night clothes. The man crumples in hit to his knees in fear. In the distance along the tree line someone patrols on a horse. Now isn't the time for weakness. The man needs to be alert and keep moving. I rush to his side. Get up! I reach for his shoulder, the air around him shudders. My hand passes through like vapour. He disappears. Moments later, someone else materialises. Light projected onto mist that thicken into a solid form. Don't interrupt the show. Unlike the gangly, uneven teen from before, this is a put-together figure in his 20s, a smooth, hallucinatory blend of blue and white. A publicist might say he's handsome. To me, he's artificial, uncanny, a Hollywood fantasy of a person, unsettling to look at. There was someone patrolling nearby. Had to get him moving. He... Do you realise who's in charge? The rider and the bodies fade too, leaving a blank landscape. Timizora. Why Timizora? It's a beautiful area, but we barely stopped here. A meal and gas and back on our way. What's my subconscious trying to tell me? Ugh, a Freudian. Then there's you. I brought you here. Kez said to expect a visit in my dreams. That primed me to imagine some kind of... Let's take this in a different direction. Caricature of a human being. Somewhere a touch more intimate. The rear door slams us in tight. The ghostly man sits at the wheel, and I'm forced to crouch on the floor at the gunner's post. When the echo of the door subsides, a sequence of explosions take its place. Teasing the gas to his pointed toe, the ghost doesn't hit the right speed for a gear change. The engine, which should whisper sweet nothings, coughs and hacks and wheezes as it throttles. I hover my right hand near the wheel, bracing my left on the dashboard. No, I was driving here. They let me drive. Can we talk? The slit standing in the windscreen flares red and gold. This isn't Timizora. Something detonates right behind us. He isn't going fast enough. Floor it! Floor it! All the arms of war pound against the exterior. The thick metal plating keeps them out. Its only vulnerabilities are tired and the slit. This isn't working. Shouldn't have latched onto the car. In slow motion, slower than us, I see it. A bullet slips into the driver's side. No! The ghost turns to face me. The tip of the bullet pierces the thin layer of the skull by his right eye. It bores out of sight into his brain. The world goes dark for both of us. The bedroom curtains are drawn. There's not much sun behind them. I sit on the covers in my underwear, drenched in a mix of sweat and rainwater. The ghost sits beside me. What was that? Here I thought you had all the answers. Curling into myself, I focus on breathing, taking a gentle hum of life outside. Nobody knows what happened. Went out a gunner, came back a driver. He stretches. Survival's like that, a series of imperfect, remembered imperfecto choices we wish we could redo. Once the stretches had reached its full extent, he snaps back inwards. Hey, talk to me. About what? You're Roger's friend. Boss. If we name every applicable relationship, we'll be all night. I've heard a lot about you from him, Jonathan Harker. Trust to convince her to take plenty of mental real estate. You come to the rescue. Only your Domisco in distress is proving hard to find. Nobody seems to care he's missing. How heartless. Dreams are important for processing the day you've had. Didn't Kez say I'm not a dream? Failing to tell dreams and reality apart is a sign of insanity. What if we have a wager? Since your only idea thus far is to check upstairs, why not try the tower? Roger was in there. His luggage still is. If you find a jawbone in a suitcase, you'll follow my instructions. Together we'll escape. There's no harm in trying. He's right that I'd like to explore the whole castle. If I don't, I'll know I'm just dreaming. Fair deal. Kez said not to agree to anything the man asked. I don't care. Sure. Let's do it. I offer a hand to him. We shake on it. Neither of us release when it's done. The ghost takes the opportunity to pull me close. Best of luck with Roger. I lost contact too. That's boy's hot property. Shame the rest of us are being outbid by Vlad. What? Good night. A knife slots underneath my jaw. The sting wakes me. Somebody stands by the bed. I fell asleep with the lamp on. It only takes a second of adjustment to see what the details of what's happening. An unfamiliar man, short and pale, furrows his brow over a thick pair of glasses. The light fills the curve of his lenses. It's impossible to meet his gaze. His stance is limp but heavy like meat on a butcher's hook. I try to move. The tip of the blade draws blood. Prince Dracula gave me a job to do. Despite his English accent, it sounds like words out syllable by syllable, as if they're part of a language lesson. Prince Dracula gave me a job to do. Tilting his head, he assesses the room. Prince Dracula gave job. Do I know that voice? Ah. The glasses angle out of the light. Do I know those eyes? Roger. It isn't a knife he's drawn on me, it's a pen. I gave him that pen. Took my job. Give it back. Oh no! You won't rob me. You won't murder me by inches. I will fight for my lord and master. Oh no. Renfield. Oh! Oh, that was good. I wasn't expecting that. This is so good. Yeah. Guys, this game's really good. So yeah. If you've enjoyed watching me weep about Jonathan and Renfield, I suggest you go and go do the Kickstarter thing. I think I've already put it in the chat, but I'll do it again. That was great fun. I love the kind of messing around with the Dracula stuff, but then it all feels... It's like what we're trying to do with Homeward, right? We're trying to bring like a fresh take, but being like supportive of the original content. And like something with Homeward we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that queer and trans people are, you know, at the forefront. So we have Maddie, who's a trans woman. We have Tom, who's a trans man. We do have other characters as well, but you'll get to know them as they go on in terms of like their sexuality and stuff like that and their gender. But yeah, this is so nice because it is just completely like, you know, straight away. Like there's so much in the story that relates to Renfield, like the stuff with Jonathan and Renfield. Like I think Georgia had mentioned who we believed Renfield was before, but the fact that the game doesn't just like make that like a private thing, like though this is actually part of the game, that you find this information out when you play as Jonathan, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, please go support the Kickstarter. If you have come here because you're aware of the Kickstarter but don't know who I am, I'm one of the co-creators of the Homeward Foundation, which is a found footage horror fiction podcast which is designed as a sequel to novel Dracula. We're available on all great podcatchers at the moment, so you can find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Episode 5 is now out, episode 6 and 7, the last 2 episodes, and they'll be released bi-weekly, so not next week but the week after for 6, and then another 2 weeks for 7, and that'll be the finale. Thank you so much for watching and taking part and just hanging around and having fun with us. And yeah, I probably will stream again when the game is released, we hope. But yeah, thank you everyone who stayed for like the whole time. I know it was a long time. It's just over 3 hours, one of my longest streams that I've done for gaming. Yes, thank you so much for all the comments, for staying, and yeah, please go tell everyone about this awesome game. And yeah, I probably at some point maybe do the Dracula one. I don't really like romancing Dracula as a rule, but you know, just for this game I might see where it goes. But yeah, thank you so much. Speak to you soon. and have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. Bye.